Well, there goes the Daverhood. I just lost my light. I just lost my key light. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh no.
That's a faulty plug-in, I think.
Oh, we have a faulty light. Excuse me. A faulty light plug.
I think.
How sad is
Unless
that?
you broke your ring light.
My ring light. No.
That was the faulty plug. Yeah.
Faulty plug. Yay.
Do you want your tea? Because you're already cold.
Yes, I need my tea, please. My hot tea. That is my hot wife. Her name is Joyce. Hello, Joyce. And we thought we would have a call. And here's my cute little egg. We have egg with us. At some point, we may have a potato. We'll have. Oh, we have Septi. Septi joining us live on this Saturday morning. This is, of course, Septipus, an octopus friend that I found in a 99-cent store, except since it's a 99-cent store, it has only 7 legs instead of 8.
Your friends you find on the street, in the gutter.
Yes! I am one of those people. I will find something on the street. It will look interesting to me. I will pick it up. Joyce will say, don't pick that up, and I'll pick that up and keep it, most likely. And I'm not talking about people discarding gold jewelry. That's true.
Oh my God, honey.
We were walking in Rockville Center a couple of weeks ago, and we actually found cash. Did I tell this story on the air?
You did, but it was a while ago.
It was about 2 months ago when it was still like walking weather, and found.
It was still when we had the beloved farmers market.
Yeah, found some bills on the street. Went to the local police station. Literally went to a police station because I wanted to be a good citizen, and I told the police person there. I said, "Hey."
Because you didn't want them to beat the living tar.
and she was like, "Dude, do you know what will happen if we just say that you found X amount of money on the street? Is anyone gonna claim it?" I told her, like, you don't say how much. You don't say how it was found or where. You just say, if somebody happens to call, they should, no, just take the money, have fun. So I did, and it was fun. Anyway, this is fun. This is Dave's Gone By live on this Saturday morning. Oh, wait. Make the noise, make the noise. Joyce is putting honey in my tea, and it's making that sound when it gets to the very bottom, and this happens with ketchup bottles and with honey plastic things. When it gets to the end, it starts making the farting noise.
Never good on the first date.
It's a beautiful sound. It's a beautiful sound. It's not quite a beautiful day here in the Daverhood on this 835th episode of Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz. I'm wearing this hat because our day started with a heat knot going on. And
That's a different you.
You're watching last week's show.
Oh.
Where am I? I wonder, am I having deja vu? Oh, no, there I am. That's me.
Let me fix your hat. I think you look a little too...
Well, I'm going to take the hat off because...
Fix it, so look straight at the TV.
Hello.
Your ball's not on the shot. Squish, lower yourself.
Joyce just said my ball is not in the shot. What she means is, I hope, what she means is, wearing this because earlier in this morning, the heat wasn't going on.
Oh, wait, you're talking on here. Hold on.
Why am I? There we go. So, and then we my mother went downstairs, added water to the boiler, pushed the thing, wouldn't go on, and suddenly, of course, in the middle of a blizzard, that's when you want to be calling the oil company people to come service your 90-year-old boiler. Turns out it just needed a little kick in the pants, and so far it's working again. We shall see. But don't need this, except it's kind of cute for the weather. We are having a nor'easter here in New York on Long Island. We are anticipating anywhere from, 6 inches. And if you've ever had 6 inches, you know how fun they...
Stan Ransom?
What?
Stan Ransom.
What about him?
Like all his songs, like, I was in the nor'easter in 1902. I was there with the sea whales. Something with you.
We're talking about a friend in the neighborhood, Stan Ransom, who put together albums of traditional whaling songs and Long Island fishermen and snowbound songs. I died inside of an iceberg. My blood, it ran so cold. The great Stan Ransom. I hope he's doing well. I hope he's still making some more music. Anyway.
God bless him.
Boy, am I getting white around the temples. Look at that. Anyway,
I didn't comb your hair. Your hair is like a little. Oh, there's a hat.
this is the most incoherent opening of a Dave's Gone By episode we've ever done.
I gotta trust you.
Let me set this up. Let me explain what the hell this is. Oh,
You keep talking.
yes, thank you. This is my darling. Joyce, want to show your pretty face on the cam? Oh, no. Oh,
I'm doing a heart.
oh.
Keep talking.
Joyce prepping me for the show. Don't forget the pubes. There we go. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. The name of this program is Dave's Gone By. You get it, Dave. Dave's Gone By. She thought of the name. And we thought of it literally 19 and a half years ago. Ooh, sexy me. Look at, oh, I feel so good. Let's just stop the show and you keep doing that. Oh. Want to do the armpits?
Your hair.
Ear hair.
You're ready.
I used my ear hair trimmer earlier this week. It was so good. Oh, I love my nose and ear hair trimmer. I do. Anyway, speaking of incoherence, I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and the name of the program, Dave's Gone By. The episode is called Snow Day. Doi. I'm just happy we have power. You know, I'm not happy, even on a snow day like today. I don't know. It's not Con Ed. It's LIPA or whatever power authority we have now. So far, because it's not just snowy out here. It's windy. It really is blustery. Because I looked out the window like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Got up and I looked on the roof of the garage. And I looked on our roof out here, and it didn't look so bad. It didn't look like the snow was piled up that high, right? And the reason it wasn't, I thought, oh, it had not that much snow. Maybe we're going to get away with a very light dusting. But I realized, no, there was a lot of snow. Thank you. A lot of snow piling up. But as soon as it was getting into a pile, the wind would just come and blow it off the roof. So it's not pretty out here. This is a real storm. Worst one we've had this year. So I hope, like us, you're hunkered down and in a good place for this day. It's going to snow all day here, and I'm sure people all across America have been dealing with this over the past few days. So far, we got the heat, we've got the electric, we've got a show. The show will mix comedy and, mostly comedy, and stupidity and nonsense. That's the beautiful part of Dave's Gone By and why we do it. Every Saturday from 9 until noon or thereabouts, right here on this Facebook page, Dave's Gone By. Let me tell you what's going to be on this episode of the program. It's going to be good. We have Greeley, sorry about that. Greeley Crimes and Old Times, where we take items from the Greeley, Colorado newspaper, items that are based on real life stuff, but it's actually funny stuff that the newspaper gets a hold of because it's public information. We share it with you all in our segment, Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Plus, we'll have our Rabbi Saul Solomon will be reading the papers again. This brings joy to me. So we get locally newspapers here on Long Island. They've sprung up over the past couple of years because we have such a growing and enormous Orthodox Jewish population. Not necessarily in this town, but one or two towns over. And it's just been burgeoning. And to service that, clientele, they really started newspapers. And I'm not talking just online. Like, where the whole rest of the world, newspapers are dying, they're being bought up, they're being sold and chopped to bits, or just going 4 days a week or no days a week and consolidated. The heavy Jewish community has been putting together like 150-page weekly papers, and God bless them. I think that's maybe God does bless them.
Put on a black hat and go work for them.
I should, no, I've applied once or twice for.
Because you're not a Hassid?
I don't know why am I turned down for jobs I'm perfectly qualified for all over.
You're too cute, honey. You would distract people when you're in the office. They would be looking at you and they'd be like.
That's right. They don't hire me for these jobs because they know you should be modeling. You should not be. Oh no! Sorry, here. Let's try this.
No, there's no tape on it.
Oh, okay.
Just balance it on your head like a nice lady.
There we go.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, I should go on Major Bows.
You're very cute.
Thank you very much.
You're very good today.
So, but one of the nice things is really that and they're free. Would come on, Jewish people, they're going to pay for a paper? Just kidding. But so you can go into bagel shops and go into even the supermarket and get two or three or four of these local free Jewish newspapers. And they're not in Yiddish. They're American English newspapers with some secular content, but mostly very, very geared towards that community. Rabbi Saul reads them cover to cover. In fact, he reads them right to left because and he'll share some of the most interesting and fun pieces that were in our local Jewish newspapers over the past couple of weeks. Rabbi Saul reads the papers. That is much fun. And what else do we have on the show? We have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Yes, we have a new one. I can't believe that after doing dozens and dozens and dozens of these over the years, I have not yet done Fort Collins, one of the major cities in Colorado, a place where Joyce and I considered living for a while, and a really cool place, not too far from, in fact, it's actually more north of northern Colorado than we were when we were in Greeley. So Fort Collins, I finally wrote a poem about it. It's a horrible, disgusting poem, but it's still a poem, a limerick, one of our Colorado limericks of the damned. And, of course, we have our Today, Yesterday Trivia Quiz. We do this every week. It's a lot of fun. Trivia questions. We have a panel who try to answer the questions. You can play against them at home. And we do have our wonderful panel of Leslie Hoban Blake. She is a theater critic and theater director. David Sheward, theater writer and journalist and book author. And Vicki Quade, back from Egypt, where I think she spent about 2 weeks. So we've got tons of questions to ask her about going to Egypt during a pandemic. And then also she is, weather permitting, doing her show, the show that she co-created called Late Night Catechism. She does that out in Chicago. She's also doing, is it Christmas? No, Christmas Bingo would be done by now.
No, I think she just does like for April, Easter, probably Easter.
Or she's doing Holy Ghost Bingo. One of the there's another show she's doing besides Late Night Catechism at the moment. We'll ask her.
I don't know. Vicki dances with the devil.
No, I do not think she does. But Vicki, Leslie, and David all together on our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. Anything else that we're doing? Oh, and yes. We even have another installment of My Sick Mind, perhaps the most controversial segment that we do on the program, because it is the sickest, and I do have that dark humor running through me. So, like a week or two ago, we actually did a My Sick Mind segment about meatloaf, because I've explained many times on the show, something terrible happens. The first thing that goes into a comedian's mind, whether you're me or Gilbert Gottfried, not that I put myself over him, but or Bob Saget, or Sam Kinison. If you turn the filter off, or Sarah Silverman, it's kind of like something horrible. Where's the funny? And that's the way we work, right? So I hear about meatloaf, and I'm like, instantly, I gotta make jokes. Gotta make jokes about meatloaf, and I did. And I did 10 jokes about the late, not really great singer Meatloaf, who died about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago of COVID, because he was, he was anti-vax mandate. I don't know if he was anti-vax.
The joke that I heard that I thought was not offensive was, I would do anything but not that. When he answered that, when they said, "Will you get a vaccine?"
Right. Oh, he said that. Yeah.
I'll do anything but not that.
Well, guess what? Yeah. Well, guess what? It should have been like, I would do anything, and died. He did. Whether it was COVID related, or from COVID, or a COVID co-condition, I don't imagine he had the healthiest habits over the years. Whatever. So I told some jokes about him, fine, and I've done that even when Sondheim died, even when, because you don't have to, I have to go there. So this week, I have another My Sick Mind about Charlie Brown. Honest to God, Charlie Brown, not really a clown. He, I don't know if you heard this, but the kid who was the first voice of Charlie Brown when that cartoon first went on the air in like 1963. I didn't realize it was before I was born. They did the very first Charlie Brown half-hour cartoon on TV, and it's the voice that all of us still hear in our heads when we think of Charlie Brown's voice, right? And it's really the only, because if you think about it, you kind of remember what Lucy sort of sounds like, or some of the other. Can you hear Schroeder in your head? What? Peppermint Pat? No, but Charlie, we hear. Charlie, we know that voice instantly. Well, that kid was 9 years old, I think, when he was first selected to be the voice of Charlie Brown, and he did not have a wonderful life. He was, severe mental illness and addictions and things, and then,
Welcome to the real world, buddy.
well, not anymore. He died. He died. He did. He died this week. So here you have this dichotomy: the kid voicing Charlie Brown.
Was kind of depressed.
It's not even a dichotomy. It's sort of ironic in a sense that Charlie was this put upon,
David, it's self-fulfilling prophecy.
bullied. Yeah.
And I bet you his parents took his money, right?
Oh, I don't know how much money he actually made back in the day from doing stuff like, maybe he should have. But here's the most depressive comics character up until, I guess, the later Burke Breathed and Doonesbury era ever, right? This poor schlub of a kid who can't get anything right and who kids treat like crap,
That's so sad.
grows up to be, in real life, a guy with tremendous mental and addictive issues, and ends up just going in and out of jails and then killing himself. Now, there's nothing funny about that, except the 10 jokes I'm going to do on our My Sick Mind segment dedicated to Charlie Brown. And you don't even know his name, right? It was all over the news this week. It was Peter something. His name was Peter Robbins, right? Would have been better if he voiced Christopher Robbins, who might have had a much better life.
Or one of the monkeys. He would have been better
Yeah.
if he was a monkey.
But anywho, that's Dave's Gone By for this Saturday. It is January 29th, 2022. So the last Saturday in January of 2022. I want to thank everybody, by the way. Last Sunday was old Dave's birthday. I turned the big 5'8". And not really much to say about it, because not much to do in a pandemic. I had a wonderful birthday,
Yum
though.
Yum steak.
Well, yeah.
You looked at houses. You got Yum Yum steak.
It was a very good. I mean, you figure, well, I wasn't traveling. I wasn't on a Broadway stage. But it turned out to be just the kind of birthday I liked. My wife Joyce got me this great potato T-shirt.
Yeah, and you began with your brownie in the morning, brownie cake. You love brownie.
Yeah, I bought my own cake. I got my own birthday cake this year. And I was like, well, what do I get? I'm going to get something. I don't want Carvel again.
But David, isn't that the best because you get what you want?
Yeah. Well, no, Carvel would have been nice, except we actually still have, and this is horrible, we have in the basement leftover Carvel cake from my dad's birthday last February, and Dad died in May. And we still have, like, his half-eaten cake in the freezer. It's still edible, by the way. It's in a freezer. Probably tastes a little freezer burny, but it's not like a nostalgic thing. We just haven't thrown it out for whatever reason. But I'm not going to add, like, new Carvel cake to Dad's death cake in the freezer. We don't have room in our freezer anyway. So I'm like, all right, let me get a cake. Let me go to a nice bakery or something. But then in the morning, before heading to work, I think, I just went into the supermarket. And I'm like, they have a really nice area in our local food town where they've got some really nice cold, they're not ice cream, but they're cold refrigerated cakes, artisanal cakes. And I was like, well, I get this one. And then, old Dave, I saw the little sticker calling to me, and it said manager special. Oh, that beautiful red sticker in Food Town. That means whatever overpriced piece of shit you're buying is actually going to be closer to the real price they ought to be selling it for. And I saw it for $7.99. They had a fudge layer, like a brownie cake. And it was between that and the $16 Boston creamy cake that I wanted a little more. But I'm like, you know what? For $7.99. Because if we were to get a pastry, at a local thing. If I were to get like a slice of cake or a really nice cupcake from some bakery around, it'd be $6 itself. And here I've got a whole pie or cake that has already lasted me like 3 or 4 breakfasts, and it's not finished yet. So, yes, as you would call it, the Hungerleider in me,
The Hungerliner.
or as I like to say, the cheap Jew in me looks at that and goes, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to last me a couple of times. It's easy on the wallet. And I do like brownie. I do like fudge brownie. I like chocolate. So win, win, win. Had that for breakfast. Had a nice cup of coffee. What did I do? On that Sunday, I relaxed a bit.
Yeah.
Lazed around. I don't even think I had a nap, but I could have. We drove around a little bit, went looking for, or inveighing a little bit for houses just to see if we were going to move somewhere. And then got myself a nice steak for dinner at a local steak place. So we didn't go in. We're still not eating inside restaurants or anything like that. Just called it in, grabbed it, took it home, and it was very, very good. It was more than I've ever paid for a steak before. It's not a Peter, we're not talking Peter Luger here, where 30 years ago, you walk into the Sawdust place in Brooklyn and lay down $100 for a piece of meat. Like, no. But this was like, I really don't want to pay this much, but it's my birthday, right? And not like we're spending money on travel or other things. Let me get a nice piece of steak. The only thing that annoyed me is that it was like $20 more than the same steak was last year. Thanks to whatever reason, inflation, blockages in the harbors. I don't think I'm not sure how that is affecting cows unless their milk and hay is more expensive than it used to be. But thank you, cow, for giving your life for me so that I could have, it wasn't a sirloin, it was, I think it was a ribeye. It was nice. It was very nice indeed. And was it quite worth the price I paid on an objective level? No, but did it make my birthday special? It sure did. So in some ways, yeah, why not? Boy, there's nothing interesting about my birthday. Literally nothing to say that would be like, wow, Dave, what an interesting story you have to tell.
Yeah, but you were very happy that you got to be 58,
Yeah.
You had a good time.
58, reasonably healthy, have not yet had COVID. That I know of. Well, no, that I do know of as of the past.
You never had PCR. You had PCR once. This last test was not PCR.
Which I don't know the difference. Which is
PCR looks for the actual virus. All these other ones look for a response to the virus. So.
Oh, well, yeah. The only one time did I have the one where they put the Q-tip all the way up into my brainstem.
Brainstem Q-tip.
That was fun. But no, the last 2 times you're right. It was just like tickle, 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 tickle. You've tested slightly positive for one antigen thing that they put in there as a control, but you don't have it. So not good. I don't have it. And now the likelihood, if you've seen the curve of New York, is amazing how precipitously it has decreased over the past 2 weeks. It's just literally, you normally don't even see curves like this. The death count has stayed, because that tails off later. It starts later and tails off later, but the amount of people testing and getting COVID and Omicron just went woof, which is, hopefully not just a harbinger of, what do they call the new one, AB+.
Yeah, the variants come out all the time,
Yeah, but for now, we may be going to that new Prague Spring area of COVID like we had just before Omicron came, when everything was looking rosy, and people were still getting it and still getting Delta, but you could tell things were normalizing. People were doing things again and going out, and I think we're going to hit a period of that for several weeks before the real next variant kicks in, and even that one will be probably less than Omicron. So maybe I'm being too hopeful, but I really think that's going to be the way things go, because I know science. What else do I want to talk about?
The people we want to lead the scientific community are those with MFAs. That's exactly.
So much to let's see. So I can check off on my list, turning 58 supermarket cake. Okay, so I talked about that. Yay. Let's talk. Well, as long as we're talking about the science versus whatever. I'd like to know where my wife Joyce stands on the whole. It's actually we're watching. It's funny. We're watching Canada versus USA in curling. Now it's Canada versus USA in Spotify. In the sense of,
I don't get it. People on Twitter are saying they're ditching their Spotify bed. What's the backstory?
here's the deal. Here's the deal. Spotify, the music listening service, right? It's either free or you can pay, and they don't have ads. Spotify has podcasts and music, and Spotify's most popular podcast by far is this guy Joe Rogan, comedian, entertainer Joe Rogan. He has taken the mantle from who is the Mark Maron, who created, and someone didn't create the podcast, but who really somehow became the poster boy for podcasting. Now, for the past couple of years, Joe Rogan is the man, right? He's the Howard Stern of podcasting, Joe Rogan. Well,
Why?
Joe,
Why?
I guess he's really entertaining, really lively, really funny. Haven't listened, I probably should, right? So, Rogan has this podcast, and he is apparently tremendously not just anti-vaccine mandate, which I do understand some of that. I have my thing where I can be convinced against having the government mandate that everybody get a vaccine. But he seems to be anti-vaccine, period, which is just crazy. So, and he's been on Spotify making these pronouncements and using weird, false, scientific fake data, if you will, or at least according to the scientific.
On purpose?
Well, he's trying to tell people, he's trying to drum up support against vaccine mandates and even say, hey, look, vaccines, they're untested. We don't know. We don't know, you can take this new shot this year.
Or US Spotify?
What, sorry? Oh, no, Spotify. It's just Spotify. It's all over the place. So here's the deal. So he's been spouting off this stuff, a lot of which the scientific community is horrified and aghast that in the middle of a pandemic, you've got a guy. Millions.
Oh boy.
Millions. He's huge. He, as I said, he's like to Spotify what Howard Stern was to Sirius XM.
Wow.
So millions of
You are
people.
to Facebook, honey.
What's right?
What you are to Facebook.
Well, I am on Facebook. Joe Rogan is to Spotify. So he's been making these pronouncements and putting forward fake-ish. Now, I mean, perhaps not intentionally. He believes.
Okay. Does he know it's he believes it or he
believes. He is anti-vaccination. He's probably like who's that hot blonde with big boobs who was on MTV all those years and is anti like getting her kids vaccinated because it's going to give them autism. What?
Oh, that Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy. Right. She,
Like her, huh?
having a platform because she's famous and she was hot for a few years, like to say and have people listen to her and say, there's a chance, not a great chance, but if you get your kid vaccinated for diphtheria, tetanus, polio, whatever, mumps, rubella, measles, that the kid is more likely to come out with autism or some other problem from the shot, right? And whereas if you leave your kid unvaccinated, but everybody else is, well, what's the big deal? Your kid could get sick, it's not getting anybody else sick because they've got all their vaccines. It's a very selfish way of thinking, but there is a logic to it. So, and because she was on The View and because she, people hear her opinion. And when you tweet and when people follow your tweets or your Instagrams or your TikToks, you have followers and you have people who start buying into what you're saying because you're famous and you sound rational. You are making logical arguments. It's just sometimes the theory on which your argument is based is just a theory and could be unsound or isn't proven unsound yet until ... A theory is just a theory, So this is. I was listening to part of a philosophy lecture a couple of days ago, and it was all about this idea that all philosophy is. It's the explanation of theories that are just untested. You can't prove them. So we come up with philosophy to just figure out stuff that cannot be empirically proven. That's all it is. So at some point somebody may prove Darwin wrong. It could happen. It's still just a theory, right? But it's a theory that the scientific community buys into, right? Vaccine seems to certainly work against COVID. To say that having the vaccine has no long-term problems that can affect you 10 years down the line, we can't say. We don't know. We don't know, right? So, but Joe Rogan gets on Spotify and he's apparently saying whatever he's saying, whatever certain things like the kinds of things Donald Trump at some point said, even though Trump had all the vaccines and had COVID,
and had the treatment and all
yeah,
sorts of stuff.
and also was very important in rolling out and getting all the pharmaceutical companies going to make vaccines. So Trump, as usual, with his mouth, was sometimes belying some of the good things he was doing behind the scenes. And so you got Rogan saying what he's saying, and people thinking that Rogan saying these things is dangerous because he's convincing people not to get vaccinated. He's convincing governors and so forth not to have vaccine mandates. It's a dangerous thing. You're spouting things based on false science and having the public buy into them during a dangerous pandemic. So what happens? Neil Young, the Canadian in the free world.
He had polio like Jody Mitchell.
Yeah, he had or some kind of fever.
Jody Mitchell.
Well, that's both. Well, what happened was Neil Young sees this going on Spotify. He's got all his music on Spotify, even though with Neil Young, I'm surprised because the sound quality of Spotify would not be up to Neil Young's standards of his Pono thing, but he's had all his music on there. And Neil Young said, okay, it's either, I'm going to take a stand on this, it's either Joe Rogan or me. And he gave Spotify an ultimatum. He's like, either you stop hosting the podcasts of Joe Rogan and promoting him and having him on your service, or I take all my music off of Spotify, right? Because, and Neil Young was very good. I remember he early in the pandemic, he started doing these concert homemade music videos that his wife, Daryl Hannah, was shooting for him. And he would go, anyway, it was this very homemade thing. It'd be all around his ranch. And he'd play a song, and then he'd go outside and clomp around in the snow. And then he'd come back in, he'd wash his hands, singing Happy Birthday for 20 seconds, just to show everybody, hey, I'm rich, I'm famous, but it's a pandemic. I'm isolating, I'm washing my hands. You should too. Now I'm going to play you another song. It was great, right? So, Neil Young on the side of the angels, if you will. Thank God, not sleeping with angels yet. Little Neil Young pun there. And he gives Spotify this command, like, take my music off or get rid of Joe Rogan. What do you think Spotify does? Oh, that wasn't rhetorical. I was asking Joyce. What do you think? How do you think Spotify responded?
I think they sided with Rogan.
Why?
Because he had more listeners.
Bing, 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 bing.
Capitalist society, right? This
Right.
is what we live for. Look.
Capitalism works. So, or it doesn't.
That's what happens, right? It's like they're going to say, it's not what's right necessarily. It's like, okay, they're thinking that these millions of people might pay for premium, so they want people to keep the money, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah. So here's the deal. They're saying, okay, I'm sorry, Neil Young, but you have X million of dollars that comes to us thanks to having your music on our service. Very nice. We appreciate it. But at the same time, Joe Rogan brings in 200 million or whatever it is to our service. And so it's been great. And thanks for all the music. And, people go buy your albums or go get it directly from your website, whatever. Fine, you're off Spotify. So now the battle is enjoined. Joni Mitchell, a friend of Neil Young, also a Canadian, and also has all her music on Spotify, is saying to Spotify, well, if you're making that decision with my friend Neil, who is, and supporting a man who is telling people vaccinations are evil, please take me off Spotify. And I have there may be a Spotify artist drain now in response to their decision to go where the money is. So the artists are trying to say, if we all band together, if you get 100 performers who altogether bring X millions of dollars to Spotify, suddenly that hurts. And so, more than Joe Rogan gets, then we win. My problem with this, and I guess I'm as usual on the other side of the issue on this, is saying Joe Rogan is on the air giving his stupid opinion. I'm sorry, it's America. You're allowed to have stupid opinions. I have them all the time. As Joyce will gladly tell you.
I think the difference is like it's the outcome. So if you, it's like it's a global pandemic, so the playing field's changed, right? It's one thing to talk about anti-vax with children, but when there's a global pandemic, it's like saying fire.
Is it like fire in a crowded theater? Because I see where you're going with that.
Well, it is, because for me, it's not only that people who are unvaccinated are at greater risk, but they're costing the healthcare system millions of dollars for intensive care. So they're actually affecting society. Where if if you're increasing your risk knowingly, then you're also putting everybody else at risk. You're prolonging the variants that come out of the virus, and you're also increasing the healthcare costs if you don't have healthcare, or if you do.
Yeah. Actually, it can be argued, and again, this may be false science, that the vaccines are causing more variants because viruses are like, oh, I can't go this way. I guess I better sprout another tube.
There's natural progression of virus. It doesn't have to be.
So good. Well, that's good to know. But I don't know. I don't know if the fire in a crowded theater thing applies. Like, let's say there's a guy on Spotify.
What they should do is have something beforehand, like before David Squeeze Anarchy saying like this. Please check. Like,
yeah, the opinions expressed in the following program.
Even Facebook takes down stuff. They have people vetting it.
That Facebook is private.
It's the same.
And I have a problem with that too. Imagine there's a podcaster on Spotify who's still saying that the election of 2020 was stolen by the Democrats. Donald Trump actually really won, and his election fraud, and he's got all these reasons and rationales, and they found this mailbox in Kentucky was tampered with, and over here there's this person who's in jail now because they may have had a signature fraud thing, and building a case, albeit on sandcastles, but still to say, the election was a fraud. Joe Biden, we're not saying take over the Capitol, we're not saying have an armed rebellion or resurrection, but America, take note that, our election was taken from us, which is, and by the way, the truth of what happened to the Democrats when George W. Bush won in 2000, right? And Florida decided, and some Supreme Court judges decided the election for us. The election really was stolen back in 2000, really was. So it can happen. It has happened. But now, you've got the Democrats saying, and you've got the media, the liberal press saying, how dare you say that the election was stolen? That's insurrectionist. That's rebellious treason by doing that. No, it's free speech. Right? So if you have a podcaster or a guy on Facebook or Twitter promoting that, even unto the president or former president of the United States saying it, it's his right to freaking say it. If you're not saying, go out and kill this person, right? If you're not saying or tweeting, I'm in Radio City Music Hall right now watching whatever, I see a fire in the back, and just for fun, you want to empty Radio City Music Hall, even though there's no fire, you're lying and crying fire in a crowded theater. If you're not doing that, I have a real problem with Spotify and Facebook and Twitter censoring incorrect, free, even stupid speech. Am I going to websites of the Ku Klux Klan or of the American Nazi Party? No. Do I think they should have a platform that isn't on the dark web so we can see what the hell they're doing? So that if not me, but then the FBI can kind of keep tabs on it, on the KKK's Twitter feed. It's like, oh, Joe Biden's going to elect a black woman for the Supreme Court. Let's talk about that, and it's like, okay, let them have their whatever. Monitor the behavior, monitor the actual crimes, rather than, the interstices perhaps leading to those crimes, because all it's going to do is drive everything underground anyway. All it's going, if you stop the guy on Spotify talking about the vaccines being wrong and bad science and perhaps dangerous and so forth. What was it? He's going to stop. You're going to stop him talking to his friends in the coffee shop. You're going to stop him in other ways of disseminating that information, writing newsletters. It's like, no, you're just going to make it harder to find him. Whereas the people who do find him are going to be even more in his corner because they feel like, aha, we're getting away with something. This is exciting. We can't talk about this publicly because the government doesn't want you to know, right? As opposed to saying, government doesn't give a shit. Say what you want to say. It's America. It's not Russia. It's not North Korea. Say your stupid crap. And if people want to believe you, will believe you. And like 95% of the populace who won't believe you, won't believe you. I don't know. That's my feeling on the whole Spotify thing. The closest I got to that was I had a warning post from Facebook a few years ago when I did a parody song, a comedy parody song that was about just all the gun violence that was going on. And in it, I actually had audio sounds of one of the shooting things. I don't even remember the song, but you literally hear the shooting and the screams of what was happening, because it was in the news all the time. It was like public record audio. Didn't use the video. And I looped like 3 seconds into the song of what it was. And suddenly Facebook, this might be inappropriate content. We're flagging. I'm like, inappropriate?
Well, they also hire people. So they have AI, they have artificial intelligence that screens it.
Yeah.
But then they also have like people who look at it. And then what happens is they also have people report it. So it's like you have people whose job it is to screen at the company. Then you have like followers or anybody doing it. And then you have AI, so there's a bunch of ways, like it probably looks
catches.
for words or sounds or
And I did have, there was one person that I know from Colorado who wrote and said, wow, this is really, this upset me, this is really inappropriate. Because this is a person who knew, like, we had all these shootings over the years in Colorado, from that movie theater to Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, those kids in the school that really jump-started the whole school shooting thing.
Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, he probably complained, and then Facebook took a look at it.
Or not even that, if somebody wrote it on your timeline and then it's there.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's fucking satire. I'm not saying it's great that people are getting shot. I am making fun of the world that we live in. I'm saying what a messed up place this is, that you can't go to school, that you can't this, that just, everybody's got guns. There's no gun control. I'm not saying take away all the guns. I'm just saying take away the ones that you can fire 50 rounds in 30 seconds. Like, that's not brain surgery either. And so I do this as a comedian would, in a shock way, to get people's attention. And of course, some people either say they don't get it at all, or they do get it, but they feel that the mode was inappropriate and it didn't land, which is the sadder part, where you feel like you failed a little bit in the creative process, because this is someone who should get it, who could get it, and who understands what the purpose was and still feels it didn't hit, the mark. So, but that was the one time that Facebook was, and I was like, yeah, I used that audio clip, but if you listen to the whole song, you'll see blah, blah, blah. So I'll never be joining the ACLU. I don't love that they protect the free speech of Nazis marching through Skokie, Illinois, but Nazis are allowed to march through Skokie, Illinois. It sucks. And you're allowed to countermarch and scream things at them and curse them But when it gets to the point when you throw something at them, you better go home or go to jail. It's none of this is easy. None of this is simple answers. Really isn't. But I like to give simple answers if I can. I try. By the way, the answer to the question, what time is it? It's 9:45 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching the 835th episode of Dave's Gone By on this real serious New York snow day. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 8 inches to a foot by the time this is over where we are. And out on eastern Long Island, they really were saying like a foot to 18 inches with wind. But I'm here. You're here. It's great to see you. Did we get any love, any likes?
I gave you, so you have, you just got another thumbs up. When you said that, somebody gave, you have the thumbs up from, ha-has from, thumbs up from Bonnie, Vicki, and Curtis.
Hey, but Curtis.
And then you got a laugh from me, and you just got another one. You got.
I actually got a laugh from Joyce.
Praveen. Praveen. A lot of people are doing
Praveen. Hey.
So Bonnie, Vicki, Praveen, and Curtis.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you to all of you who even aren't posting or whatever, but you're just watching and listening, and I hope enjoying the program. And feel free to chime in with your thoughts about the whole.
Try to start inviting people, but I don't know.
No, just I don't want to anger the Facebook gods. Yeah. What else? What else do I want to talk about? Or we have got stuff to do on this episode of the show. We've got Greeley Crimes and Old Times, My Sick Mind, our Today Yesterday trivia quiz, Rabbi Saul Solomon reads the papers, and our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. My goodness. Let me tell this story. No, I gotta. And it was so funny the day it happened. I know it's not going to have the same resonance. And I'm gonna be as anonymous as I can about this, but I have to tell this story. This happened this week. This is so great.
Does it involve me?
No, not at all. Okay. No, but it involves a school district. Oh, Lord have mercy. I love it. So, I work for a local school district in a capacity as both a secretarial person and involving data that gets sent to New York State and all that crap. So, but one of my main things is, like, for our little technical department, I'm the first line of defense when the phone calls come in. They all route to me, and then I route them to other people. So it's Thursday. It's Thursday morning. I finished my cup of coffee. I'm working on some stuff. And just like hoping for a nice quiet day at the office. And then I get a phone call. And I get a phone call from I'm not going to say what level this person was, but a high up person at one of the schools in our district. And I was like, "Hi, how you doing?" He's good, but I can tell immediately from his voice that he's a little upset and nervous. So I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing, man?" And he's like, "Is so and so around in your department?" And I was like, "No, I think they're already at one of the other schools. What's up? Maybe someone else can help you with this, or I'll slack the guy." And he's like, "Well, we need a phone cord." What? Yeah, we need a longer phone cord. And I understand where this is coming from, because one of the things that our tech people deal with is for all the teachers and all their rooms and stuff, there's a telephone, and the secretaries especially, really. It's the secretaries who will stay on the phone. They'll go to a filing cabinet, they'll wheel around in their chairs, and they're twisting this phone cord. It gets crackly, and they don't last that long because they're just pulling it and twisting it, and then it gets all, how phone cords just find the path of most chaotic resistance and coil into each other. So I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I mean, deal with this all the time, but you just need one of those." And he's like, no. I need a longer phone cord going into the phone. I'm like, "Why?" And I don't know why, but I just like, "Why?" And he said, this is beautiful. On Monday, a child in one of the classrooms, a child with, shall we say, a special ed kind of area child, managed to get to the telephone in the classroom, because all classrooms have computers and phones now and stuff, managed to get to the telephone, and we're talking about a kid in second, third, fourth, maybe fifth grade. Yeah, little kid. Goes to the telephone and dials 911 and gets the police on the phone. And then the teacher has to go and say, no, it's okay, officer, we're fine. Right. Okay, fine. This was on Monday. On Tuesday, at some point during the day, same child gets to the telephone, picks up the phone, dials 911. Hello, police. Was that police? And then the teacher has to go, no, sorry, it's okay. Is it? Okay. 2 days in a row. I am not making this up, my friends. I am not. And this was bad because I think this administrator who called me could tell that I was laughing when I was starting to hear this, and he was not in a laughing mood. And he said, and then on Wednesday, this child got to the telephone, picked up the receiver, and dialed 911. And it's like, right. So now it's Thursday morning, and the administrator's calling me, and it's like, I'm sorry, we need to move the phone. And I said, okay, let me talk to one of the admins here, one of the tech people here, tell them what the problem is. I'll forward them to you, and we'll see if I have a longer cord and blah, blah, blah. And I get off the phone. And I'm already thinking this is the most ridiculously funny thing I've ever heard. And that's when it occurs to me that 3 days in a row, this child has gotten to the telephone and dialed 911, the police. And now they have to move the phone. Did it not occur perhaps to the teacher or to the administrator that maybe you can keep the phone where it is if you move the child? If you have a seating plan, and here's the telephone, and here's the crazy kid, maybe you just kind of move the kid from here to there. And that could solve the problem a lot easier than sending a technician in to rewire the telephone system. This is the world we live in. So no, we have to move the telephone. And it's a thing because it's not just a it's attached to a computer. It's got to be across the room. And I don't know if they're, this is little kids, if they're in a semicircle or something like that, or it just, like, all the teacher has to do is turn her back for like 30 seconds. And the kid's been waiting. Like, it's probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The kid's been waiting. Like, at some point, she's got to turn. At some point, she's going to, get her lunch and her apple out. At some point, she's got to write some stuff on the board. Bam! Off like a shot to the telephone while she's not looking. And they say, hello, 911. It's like, oh God. And so they did. And now they're looking, really, I think we had a phone cord, and it still wasn't quite long enough to get the whole telephone over to the front of the room. But I just like, it reminded me this idea of really the old Polish joke of how many Polish people does it take to change a light bulb? 3. 1 to hold the bulb, and 2 to rotate the ladder really, really carefully. It's like, just move the kid. Move the kid! I don't know. I assume it's not as simple as that. And yet, shouldn't it be as simple as that? Really? Couldn't you take the kid's chair and put it to the front of the room? Right? And it's not as if the kid has done nothing wrong. The kid has dialed 911 3 times. You can put him in the front. We don't use dunce caps anymore. But you can kind of, as a punishment, have him near teacher. Right? And as an example to other kids. Kids! Don't try this at home or especially in school. 911 is for serious business. This happened in school this week. Yeah. I'll keep you posted if there's more to the story. It'd be great if you just dialed 411 and kept getting information, but no. Anyway, for your information, you are watching Dave's Gone By. It's already 5 to 10 Eastern Time. I think we better get to some Greeley Crimes and Old Times before it's too late. So, yeah, let me get my my explanation out of what Greeley Crimes and Old Times is. We do this every week, and it's based on items that are in this newspaper, the Greeley Tribune, real newspaper, used to come out 7 days a week. Now it only is published in hard copy 4 times, although it's certainly on the web. And it's a real paper, giving you stories of what's happening in northern Colorado in the Greeley-Evans area. And so they do have a sense of humor over there. Not enough of a sense of humor that, when I gave them my resume and asked for a job, no. But a couple of people there do have a good instinct for comedy, because there are 2 columns in the Trib that are intentionally funny, even though they're based on real things. One of them is called Cop Log, and this is when phone calls come into the Greeley Police Department from people who are looking around in their communities and see weird stuff happening. I'm like, oh, I better tell the cops about this. Or if some retarded 3rd grader decides, I'm going to call the cops. My teacher's wearing a blue dress today. Whatever. But they call the police, and this is public record. There's a dispatcher taking this information, and it's public. So the newspaper gets it, and they go through it. And they find the funniest, weirdest, most ridiculous, pointless calls that come into the police. And once a week, they put them in the paper. We enjoy reading them. I enjoy sharing them. I also enjoy another column in the Trib called 100 Years Ago, where our friend over there, Mike Peters, goes through the newspapers from, I've got to say, 1922. Now, I'm so used to saying 1921, but 1922, 100 years ago. What was in the paper back then? What weird, zany things, nostalgic things that are odd to our modern eyes were published in the Northern Colorado Tribune newspaper 100 years ago. We mix all that up. We kind of put both of those into this segment that we like to call Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Indeed we. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times on this 835th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream, with my darling and adorable wife Joyce on the noisemakers, and me, Dave, doing the show. Hold on, it's nose blowing time. Oh, that was a good one. There we go. So, let's do some criminality. Are you ready, my darling? I can hear that you are. You were born ready here.
I was born for criminality.
So, here's a crime for you. Again, these are real. These happened within the last 1 to 3 weeks in Greeley and northern Colorado. All right. A man on 30th Street said that a woman tried to break into his home by sticking her hands through his window. When she saw him, the woman said, quote, "Oh, this isn't my house."
There you go. I like that one.
And so, like, what gave it away? What part of it? Like,
I love that.
different furniture, different.
Like,
Oops.
I love it. It's like you could do anything and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's not my car."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This Mercedes, yeah, it's just like my
Oh,
smart car.
about a month or 2 ago, that happened to me.
Yeah.
I went shopping
Oh no.
at the supermarket. I think it was evening,
Yeah.
and I go out to the parking lot. I dipped the key for the car. I get in the car, and I'm like, wow, mirrors adjusted weird. Feels a little different. I was in somebody else's car.
Oh my God!
Honest to God.
How did you? Was it open?
Because there's something, it's a big,
open?
dark. Yes! Some people don't lock.
Why don't they?
There was no key in it. There's no key in it. I saw it looked like the car, which is a pretty generic, like, almost SUV.
Plate you look for.
I don't look for a light. I see it. Oh, so that looks like this around where I park. I went into it. I was in somebody else's car. I'm like, oh my God, what the heck? I don't think I noticed until I tried to put the key in.
Yeah, but we also have that longer mirror. We have that long mirror.
I was like, wait a minute, why? This feels weird. and they immediately like ran out of there. I was like, holy crap, this is not my car.
Oh my god.
And then yeah, our car was like 5 spaces over.
Oh
Another dark colored, SUV type car. It really happens. A caller on 23rd Avenue. Oh, hell, let's see. Well, let me talk to her first. Let me make sure it's there. Yeah, hi.
I don't have my bell.
Oh no, the bell. Yeah, please. Oh, ding, ding, ding with the bell. Really? A caller on 23rd Avenue was concerned that a flock of 4 or 5 large birds was dangerous. That was. Like, what are they? Pterodactyls? What the? How's a flock of 5 birds dangerous? But remember, this is people calling the police and reporting this kind of thing. A man on 8th Avenue, oh, we love our 8th Avenue, reported, oh man, he got home, went into his house, and he found blood all over his house. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I would call the cops on that.
What the heck?
Yeah, if I came home like, oh, gee, that's kind of, why is there red everywhere?
Listen, I watch Dateline, I know.
Yeah.
If you go home and you see blood anywhere, you got to call one of the Dateline people because you've got a show happening.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in like the West. Everything is like, remember you told
Colorado and Arizona, man.
Yes, or New Mexico. They love those states for the.
Joyce has been binge watching Dateline on Peacock, and it's just like here in Colorado about this, and half of the episodes. I think it's just because the filmmakers want to be in Colorado.
Oh.
So they don't do North Dakota stories. They don't do stories
Why
of
don't they do
Detroit.
Like New York or...
Sometimes they do a Long Island story.
They do that one about Nebraska, where I think my colleague knows the family.
Oh, yeah.
Where the couple went in and like killed a little couple.
And you know that Dateline or 48 Hours is going to do something about like that shooting that was a half a mile away in Hewlett Bay Park.
Oh yeah, they should.
Yeah, of course. You know, the bodybuilding kid shoots his parents, and
story.
Yeah.
For them.
So it was perfect kind of story. So, but this one is most of the time when I hear Dateline, it's like Colorado.
David,
by the house.
When you went in that wrong car, did anybody?
Nobody saw me. Nobody knew.
Oh, okay.
It's just a guy going into a car in the parking lot.
Someone didn't lock there. Did you tweet your thing?
Well, yeah. I don't think I opened their door as well. I don't think it works like that.
Whoa.
I hope I did. I didn't open somebody else's Toyota.
Maybe you did.
Maybe that's why the door was open. I'm like, whoops.
Yeah.
But no, or maybe they just like they went in because they're going in for some groceries. They figure it's a safe neighborhood.
That's creepy.
You can steal the stuff in a car, but you can't just steal a car if there's no key in it.
Is there anything worthwhile taking?
Yeah. You know, back in the day, you take a radio, but who's now it's all digital anyway. A caller on 31st Avenue, 31st Street. Excuse me. Hello. Oh, that's terrible. Caller on 31st Street said someone was yelling at him on a YouTube comment section. The other party threatened to come to Greeley and, quote, take care of this. Wait, I don't even know there's any YouTube things on Greeley.
No, I think what happens is yelling, it's just that they talked in caps.
Yeah, they shout at the guy and say, I'm going to come to Greeley and get you over this. Maybe it's Joe Rogan.
Isn't that a threat?
Well, yeah, that's why he's calling the cops. I mean, I get why he called the cops, but who has a YouTube argument that escalates to the point of, I'm going to come and get you?
Ooh. I don't know.
I mean, I can understand on like FoxNews.com or something.
When you do those movie reviews, maybe people don't like it.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe like some anime or some Comic-Con people were.
Maybe.
Like, I think your dress isn't accurate. Like, what?
Whoa.
You think my costume's accurate?
Them's fighting words.
I believe so.
I wonder who came up with that line. Them's fighting words. It's a great line.
Probably when they did duels and stuff.
Yeah.
Said something that made someone mad.
Sword, gun, black eye. Oh, them's fighting words. They are indeed. Let's do some old times. These are things that were in the paper 100 years ago. Oh, honey, we have. Are you ready for an ew alert? This is an alert that has to do where you just. It's so like ew, right? So we're alerting you to the fact that this news item from 1922 has kind of an ew factor. Are you ready, dear? Ew. The first Greeley Fire Department call
Ooh.
for 1922 was to the barber shop on 7th Avenue.
Yeah.
It was a pile of greasy rags behind the shop, and nothing else was damaged. Just the idea, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but whatever is on a barber shop rag
That's greasy.
of grease, like hair
Yeah, but
oil,
years ago, people, didn't bathe as often.
yeah, sebum, that goo that they dip stuff in, and then the gels and the hair, just rags of that piled behind the barber shop. I'm sure that just makes me go, ew. And I hope you're enjoying your breakfast. Fort Collins, man. Fort Collins is going to be
This
the.
is from a man who picks plumbus off the street.
Do you want to explain that one?
You showed them plumbus.
How did I show them on camera? You said bring them in the
No, you
car.
need to show. I have pictures. I'll get a picture of plumbus.
Show me Plumbus.
Okay, I'm gonna get a picture.
Yeah, little incidental bit here, but Plumbus. Now, it's so complicated to explain. It's going to take up all the time in the segment, but the name Plumbus, for those of you who like your Rick and Morty, is an object that in an alternate universe, from when they're watching TV, that every homeowner has in 2024 or 3025. It's this very strange, oddly, weirdly sexual object.
Don't move the thing though.
Well, called a plumbus, and it sort of explains how they're made. And it's a very, very funny segment on Rick and Morty, because the guy was literally inventing it. He was improving all of this audio, and then they had to do a cartoon to match what he was saying. Well, first they roll it in the schleem. The excess schleem is then taken away by the grumbo. I mean, it was literally, you're just riffing to come up with it, and then they turned it into part of the cartoon. So, and the thing about the plumbus is it's this pink, weird, plasticky object with sort of a male side and a weird red female side. Okay, now you know part one of the story. I go to throw out some food at the local, because we often eat in the car. That's our getaway. We don't eat in a restaurant anymore, so we eat in a car, just to get out of this room.
Can you preface it by saying we eat in our own car?
We don't eat. We eat in my mother's car.
Yeah, but we don't eat in our
Well,
own
yeah,
car.
we don't eat. We don't find somebody else's car in the parking lot. Go in there and say, "Hey, we go. I don't want to eat in a Fiat today. Let's go look for a Rolls." When we go looking for the car we want to have our meal in.
Sure.
So as I'm throwing out the food, I notice a weird pink object, pinkish, like almost skin-colored object. Was it in the garbage can or was it by the garbage can? I think it was in the garbage can.
Yeah.
And me being me, I'm like, I need to rescue this. And I named it Plumbus, even though it doesn't actually look at all like a plumbus on Rick and Morty, but it's a squishy thing. And my wife says, here's Plumbus. I'm holding it on the day we got it. And my wife said, Dave, do you understand that this was probably somebody's sex toy object?
No.
What?
No. We got this in Rockville Center.
Really?
Yeah, we were walking along Rockville Center.
Oh, okay.
You got Blue Ball in the other place.
Oh, so much to unpack there.
But Plumbus, we were walking around Rockville Center.
Yeah.
Near the apartments, remember?
Yeah.
And then it was like the VFW or some Masonic Hall, and then we found Plumbus.
I found Plumbus, and Joyce, as usual, said, "Don't touch that." And by the time she said, "Don't touch that," I had touched it and picked it up, and I'm like, "It's our new family member. It's Plumbus," and kept him for a day. Just kept him in the car, and then at one point, she's like, "Okay, it's time to throw Plumbus away," right? So then, a day or two later, we were eating in the parking lot of the local park, throwing out the food, and I'm like, okay, bye-bye Plumbus, this was fun. I put him in the garbage can. And then 2 days later, we had another meal. We go get some more Chinese food or Italian, whatever it was. We go back to our special place in the park to eat in the car, and then I go to throw away the food, and they had not come. The garbage man had not been there. And Plumbus was still sitting there, so forlorn and lonely, on the garbage pile in the garbage can. And I'm like, Plumbus, I rescued you once. We are adopting you. So I rescued Plumbus again.
Or Columbus.
What?
But then you
Plumbus.
found
Oh yeah,
Blue Ball.
yeah. Don't rush the story.
Oh, I
This
thought
is-
you were up to Blue Ball.
Oh, I'm up to Blue Ball.
Okay.
So Plumbus, I put him back in the car.
Yeah.
Very, dusting him off a little bit. Who really
I
wasn't
think
worse
you-
for wear.
I think you threw him out in Grant Park and then you
Yes.
found him.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Why did you throw him out?
Because I think we're like, why are we keeping all this stuff in the car? And you're like, David, get rid of Plumbus. You're gonna get COVID from whatever the hell that is.
I think it was used for unsavory.
Well, because it's got like a weird puckery sex hole in it. I think it's just part of
You
another
should ask if any
vacuum
of your viewers know what it's for. Maybe somebody has some insight.
into what this kind of Plumbus would be. So I rescue it from the garbage can I put it in 2 days earlier. And now he's in the car. And then or just a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
we're walking along in the park and I see a small blue like handball.
No. First, we
yes.
saw two women who were they were like pigeons. They were walking around with handballs, walking like pigeons around
The tennis court.
very curiously and weird. They were like in weird body positions and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then not thinking about them as we're leaving the park, I see on the ground. I only think of them
The
because
handballers aren't there anymore. The real handballers.
So I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be a friend for Plumbus, and I call him Blue Ball because he's basically a blue handball. And I got him and I put him on top of Plumbus, and Plumbus just sank on it. And now they're together.
Yeah, but then we think it might be those pigeon ladies.
Maybe, but you will be very proud of me because yesterday on the way, when I was shopping at the supermarket in the parking lot, I saw one of those weird, like black, almost looked like a COVID thing, where it has all those sprouts on it, but just pure black, like something that came out of a washing machine or dishwasher, and I was like, I was going to take it. I have no idea what it was.
Was it like a squishy toy?
It was a
Like
round.
squeeze toy?
I didn't touch it. But because I thought it's black and sooty.
It's probably overall.
But I could have gotten them a neighbor.
Did it come from any other restaurants?
Maybe. You're right. I think it probably came from a car, had motor oil all over, but it was literally like another small, even smaller than Blue Ball. So if I see that again,
The sad part is we are we are adults. And
Speak
you
for
want to
yourself.
show them your new potato friend? You got the ceramic one?
oh yeah, and then I've got to let in. I know Vicky's trying to get into the game. I can't believe we've done like two.
You
Greeley
could let
things.
Vicky in while showing. You could show
Yeah.
them. That could be like
This is exciting.
They're not going to win it, so don't give them any hope that they could win anything like that. But
Oh, but no, this is gonna be great. So anyway, let me table. Maybe we'll do more Greeley crimes in old times later in the show, or just table all of these for next week because we've got a lot of Maybe we'll do one or two more. But after we allow some of the guests who are going to be on this program today, January 29th, 2022, it's Dave's Gone By. I'm Dave. It's our 835th episode on this snow day, and we're going to be playing the Today, Yesterday Trivia Quiz, which is basically, it's fun. It's just some trivia questions that our panelists get to answer. You try and answer them too, and we'll see how we all do. Let me let in a couple of people who are patiently waiting. Admit. And for more information about this program, go to davesgoneby.com. Our archives are there. Well. Now, see, Vicki, I thought you were back in America, but there you are in Egypt still.
Oh, look, and David's got his Playboy jeans.
Well, you got to do something. Oh, I got it. Thank you. Here I am. Now you can see my fingers. There.
Hello, how was Egypt?
Oh my God. I travel with my son, my second son, David. And he's like, go. You got 30 minutes. You're in front of a museum, all closes in 30 minutes. He's going to go in there because he doesn't want to waste that 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And so we woke up every morning. We were out by 6 a.m. every morning and out until sunset, which comes around 5:30-ish, 6 o'clock.
Right.
So 12 hours of really just seeing as much as we possibly could for about 2 weeks. It was
So
great.
were you in different cities? Were you? I mean, I don't know how big.
Yes,
Egypt is.
we met up in Cairo.
Mhm.
We only spent 2 days in Cairo because we knew we were going to spend more time on the end. So we just did 2 days. We did the Egyptian Museum, so which
Yeah.
is amazing. I mean, it's not as good as the British Museum because the Brits stole the best, but you know, but it's still fabulous. But the thing that's so charming about it is that it's kind of filthy and it's
Right.
funky. And there's like there'll be an amazing statue, and you think, oh, I want to get a picture of this. And behind it are the mops and buckets that they. Yeah, I'm not lying. I'm not. And you walk around and you think, wow. I mean, it's just to them, it's just stuff. I think.
Wow.
And but the Egyptian Museum is great. It's really great. And we did see some Tut things, but I saw Tut when that exhibit was in the U.S. in the 70s, in the late 70s.
But so is he back in Egypt now? Is his
Yes,
final?
there was an international tour that had just started, and I don't remember the cities. I think London. There were some other cities, and of course COVID hit, and so the Egyptians wanted everything back. So and they're opening a Tut standalone museum in Cairo.
Oh.
So yeah.
So how was? I mean, first of all, how was Egypt during a pandemic going? I mean, how did you even notice it?
Inside, they do insist on wearing masks.
I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That's David Sheward, by the way. But yeah.
Hi, bye, David.
I'll
Oh,
be
hi,
that was
David.
quick,
Oh, there he
yeah.
is. Oh,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah.
He's gonna go with Leslie.
they do insist on wearing masks
Uh-huh.
inside, but outside nobody wore a mask because we were outdoors.
Yeah.
And the people I talked to had all been vaccinated, which was important to me. But because we hired drivers, we hired Uber drivers, but we hired a personal driver when we were in Luxor to take us all around because we did a lot in Luxor, Valley of the
Well, what was your
Kings.
favorite thing in the whole trip, besides I guess the Egyptian Museum, but
And seeing your son.
yeah, and seeing your kid. But
Yes,
you know,
thank
in
you.
terms
It
of
was seeing my son.
yeah, as opposed to seeing him in
Okay,
Chicago.
my
Yeah.
favorite thing. Oh my goodness, I have to say Luxor. I mean,
The casino,
when you
or yeah.
when you see the pyramids of Giza, yes, it's the final last thing of the original seven wonders of the world. But it's just like you're driving out for half an hour and there they are. There's no museum out there. There's no interactive, interesting videos that you can watch. It's just like, oh, there they are.
I don't
Then
understand.
you go over to the Sphinx, which is right next door. You just walk over the Sphinx. So there's the two pyramids of Giza, and then you walk, and there's the Sphinx. The Sphinx is much smaller than you imagine.
Oh,
It's not. It's much. It's pretty. It's much smaller. Is it impressive? Yes, they are impressive, but there's nothing done other than there it is. Get my picture.
well,
Yeah.
let me ask you. I never understood pyramids. I don't. Is it like, are they hollow and people lived inside? Are they just
They're tombs. They were tombs.
So there's bodies in these things.
At some point there would have been, but
Oh.
a lot of them were just they were entered and all the items stolen. I mean, don't forget the pyramids are thousands of years old.
But how do you get them out? I mean, do you tunnel under and
Oh
still?
no, there's a door. There's a door, and the largest of the pyramids has a hole blown into it by the French when the French were in Egypt. They're like, we want to get inside here, so they didn't try to find an entrance.
Did
But
you
no,
go into a pyramid? Were you able to?
I did. I went into the step pyramid. You're not allowed. I don't think we were not allowed to go into the Giza ones, but I went into the step pyramid, which is also in that area. Because there's about 5 different pyramids. You go from one to another to another.
Because I don't understand the whole make. I mean, if I were an architect and I were building pyramids, I'd make it dormered. I'd be like, look, you've got this waste of space up top. You can have a very nice little sitting room or sewing room, but if you got to make this just caper it out a
No
little.
one's living there. But I will say the temples, what we discovered, a lot of the temples are damaged. A lot of them are not. A lot of them are beautiful, but a lot of them are damaged. That people lived in them for years, hundreds and thousands of years. People just lived in the temples because they could. And they cooked in there, and they used it, they slept in there. It was their home. So that
regular people or the scions
regular
of kings or something.
the hoi polloi just
Really?
slept. Yep, yeah, they just used it. So the idea that Egypt became a center of curiosity, I think you can credit the Brits for that, and you can credit the French for that, in that they brought out items that made people curious, and they wanted to see where those items came from.
Whereas the Egyptians just kind of took it all for granted. It's like, oh, there's
Exactly.
a triangle in the desert. Whoop-de-doo.
No, I think that's exactly right. And they may argue about that, but my feeling is that had the Brits not taken the best that they did, I'm not sure that those items would have survived, because there was not a huge culture of saving them. Because there's so many museums, there's so much that was dug up. I always felt sorry, and in my ignorance, I felt sorry for the fact that mummies were in museums and elsewhere in the world, because I've been to Berlin and London and throughout the US, and I've seen a lot of Egyptian artifacts and special events. It always felt sorry, except the Egyptians dug up everybody. In Luxor, we saw 20 royal mummies. So you name the important mummy and we saw it.
Now, where were the daddies? That's what I want to know.
Here's what I feel, though, and I said this to many people. I think they should be reburied, because, and I would say, imagine 3,000 years from now, somebody digs up your grave and says, oh, this is how they buried people way back in the 20th, 21st century. And they put you on display.
That'd be okay with me.
A little odd.
I wouldn't care.
A little odd.
Everybody within 2,000 to 5,000 years is going to get dug up at some point, just for land use, just for, everybody who's buried somewhere, whether it's Sheepshead Bay or out on Long Island or in Egypt, that's something, the body's going to be moved.
Right.
And it's going to be just thrown into, one giant incinerator somewhere.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
Possibly, yeah. I will say that we really enjoyed Abu Simbel. We took a 4-hour drive, well, 3.5 hours across the Sahara Desert, and you get to Abu Simbel on the banks of the Nile.
Is that near Abu Snare Drum, or where is that?
Abu Simbel is where, if you remember, in the 70s, if you go back that far, no, it was in the 60s, I think. Excuse me. They wanted to dam the Nile to create Lake Nasser.
Damn you, Nile! Yes.
And doing that, they had to move about 20 plus sites so that they wouldn't be flooded by the dam. And Abu Simbel is the most incredible of all those.
I don't remember that at all.
It's just astonishing. You look it up, Abu Simbel.
Did you take a little plane to get there?
We did not. We took a bus. We had to be up at 3 in the morning, 3:30 on the bus.
Oh.
They told us 1.5 hours, 2 hours max. We thought, oh no, you get it done in an 1.5 hours. There's two temples.
Yeah. I was there in the 90s, I think it was, and we took a plane to Abu Simbel, a little tiny plane.
Yeah.
Well, David Sheward, by the way, he is the former managing editor of Backstage. He's also a theater critic for theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com, and he writes a blog called The David Desk. You went to Egypt in the 90s. What was your favorite part of going? What was your favorite moment?
Oh, the whole experience was just wonderful. I think Abu Simbel was it's magnificent. It's these enormous burial site with the emperor and the pharaoh, whoever it was at the time. I don't remember the specifics, but it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And when we went, there was a terrorist attack in Cairo just before we left. And word went out that don't you Americans stay out of Egypt or else we'll kill you. And we had insurance, but they said, it didn't kick in because it wasn't. There had to be a terrorist attack within like 24 hours or whatever it was. We didn't quite make it in order to get our money back.
So David, we were told that the buses to Abu Simbel in the 90s, so in the era that you were there, they had to be in a caravan. So they had to wait until the buses were full, and that they all went to Abu Simbel with tourists, because otherwise the buses could be stopped and there could be some issues.
Well, we took a plane, and it's ironic. As soon as we came back, we had to stay at the Cairo airport overnight because there was a snowstorm here in New York.
Yeah.
And it was bright sun, everything was wonderful in Cairo, and then we get back to New York, and it's like Dr. Zhivago or something, like today.
Like
so
today, literally. How is it in New York City, by the way? No, Dave, you're in Brooklyn or Queens? I'm sorry.
I'm in Queens.
Queens. How is it over there?
Aren't you in New York City also?
No, I'm on Long Island.
Oh, okay. Well, it's pretty bad in Long Island, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm wondering if it's better in Queens or worse, or what.
It's pretty bad in Queens. I understand in Manhattan it's not as bad, but I think it's pretty bad. I was going to go to a show this afternoon, but I had to cancel.
Wait a minute. Wait, have you been back to the theater? How are you feeling?
Once.
Okay. I'm
feeling somewhat better. You know, I was able to see Skeleton Crew on Sunday.
We're not talking about COVID, by the way, folks. We're talking about David Sheward being hit by a car just before Christmas and breaking 6 ribs.
Yes.
So the fact that you're out and about and going to the theater is pretty great. So
I mean, I still feel pain. I'm still feeling not great. But I did go to one thing and it was bearable. You know, I was a little difficult.
The show or your pain?
No, my pain. But it's getting
very good. Yeah.
You look great, David. You really do.
It's better.
Is it hard to breathe?
Not too hard, but it's getting better, and we'll see. I still have pain. I still have difficulty moving.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And, I mean, we're just ribbing you. But anyway,
and I'm still. Yeah.
So we're waiting for Leslie Hoban Blake, but we're not going to wait for Leslie Hoban Blake anymore. We're going to start the game. David, did she text? By the way, have you checked your? I don't have my phone next to me, and she tends to text both of us. Anything from her? She trying to get on. Leslie Hoban Blake is our usual third.
She's not a morning person. You know?
I think she is, but her computer isn't. Any word from her?
No, let me see. I'm not sure when this went out.
Yeah.
I see you sent me a new one. Thanks. I'm getting embarrassed over having to wear that old January 2021 link. Is that from you?
Oh, that was from her. She was joking in the sense that she lost, like, you asked for the link again.
Oh, okay.
She did as well, but I
okay.
It's the same.
Well, send her a little text that says we're waiting. Yeah. We're waiting, Leslie.
I can do that. Are you?
Yeah, if you don't mind. I'll say that Leslie Hoban Blake is a theater director and also a theater critic. She co-hosts with Charlie Gross the YouTube show, the podcast, I should say, video podcast like this one, called Critics Circle, that does theater reviews and interviews and other stuff about the theater. Meanwhile, Vicki Quade is the performer and co-creator of Late Night Catechism, which you can see at the Greenhouse in Chicago. Are you doing shows this weekend, or is the weather killing?
Yeah, we're doing shows. The weather was bad yesterday. It snowed about 8 or 10 inches. But in Chicago, that's like, oh yeah, it snowed. But we have shows this evening and then tomorrow, matinee.
And is it just, remind me, are you doing Holy Ghost Bingo now, or what's the other one?
No, Holy Ghost Bingo is Halloween. We're doing Bible Bingo, which is the Mother Superior of all the bingo shows. So
of course, and you are the superior writer and performer of Nun shows.
That's right.
Was it nunsforfun.com is the website?
Yep, Nuns for Fun. And I have to say, I took my Get Out of Hell free cards, which I had made last about 2 years ago or so, and they're really adorable, little business cards. And I gave them to all of our tour people, and we were not on a tour, but the people we met, the drivers, and everybody loved them. Everybody got a big laugh. So I thought that was good that religious humor held up. It didn't matter if you were Coptic Christian or if you were.
Were there any Jews on the tour? I've got, was anybody wearing a yarmulke? Dared or
no.
No, because Egypt, we get along. I mean, we have been since 1977, but.
Right.
All right, good to
What is right?
know. Wow. All right, let's begin the game. It's called Today,
All right.
Yesterday. It's a theater. Oh, David's like, good. Let's get. Oh, was that you, Vicky? Well, who said
No.
good?
What? I
No.
didn't say anything.
Oh, all right, somebody said, let's begin the game. And someone said, good. Okay.
I didn't say anything.
No, me neither.
I probably heard it in my
Me
own
hearing
voice.
something.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sorry.
maybe it was Joyce.
Maybe it's Leslie.
Oh, that's right.
Leslie, come on.
Here's how the game works very quickly. We have questions that we will ask. There were 2 points apiece. If you get them right, if you don't, the other person gets a chance to steal. So here's the deal. I'm still going to do a dice roll. Vicky, what's a number between 1 and 6? And please tell me what
Ooh,
it is.
2.
2. David Sheward, pick a number between 1 and 6 that isn't 2.
3.
David Sheward, 3. All right, I'm going to roll the die. La, la, la. Well, came up number 4. So David Sheward, you can decide whether you want to go first or second or third.
I'll go first.
Okay, David Sheward going first. Vicky,
I'll go second.
second, yeah. So it may be there, maybe only 2. We'll see how it goes. So, are you guys ready?
Yes.
David Sheward, this question is.
Before the quiz, can we
Yeah.
adopt a baby hippo?
Joyce is looking at pictures of animals because this show bores the hell out of her. But she's usually looking at puppies, but now she's found the picture of a baby hippo.
Yes.
Is it really cute?
Yes, I'd like to adopt it.
Can we? No, we can't. Okay,
Not really.
afraid not. Okay. 1594 was the year. David, did Leslie write?
Yeah, I'm. Hold it a minute. Over effing slept.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Is she
It
joining us?
literally
She's still
says
going to come on?
it says over asterisk slept. Too late. So I
Tell her to come on. Yes.
No, come on.
She's always 20 minutes
And
late.
she's very competitive. She likes to play. Come
Yeah.
on, she likes to play.
I'll say we are just starting.
Yes.
Say, please
Come
join.
on. Brush your hair and come on.
Okay.
How late must a person
There we go.
stay up
There we
to-
go.
to miss a 10 o'clock
So I said no. We are just starting. Join.
usual link, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
David, thank you for texting her. That made the difference.
Okay.
It is more fun with 3. Not that you guys aren't great, but it is kind of
All
fun.
right. Then let's go ahead with the question.
1594 was
Yes.
the year. Okay. Mathematician John Napier, known for inventing logarithms and popularizing the decimal point, dedicates his treatise Plain Discovery to King James VI. Okay. Which of these is not true? I messed up the question here. I have to check whether this is true or not. Which of these is false about John Napier?
Which of these is not true about John Napier?
Right, false.
Okay.
A, he kept pigeons, but he wouldn't name them. True to form, he gave them numbers. B, people thought he was a magician who traveled everywhere with a black spider in a box. C, not only did he hate Pope Clement VIII, Napier often referred to him as the Antichrist. Or D, Napier predicted that in 1700, the world would end.
Okay. So which of these is false?
Yeah, only one is false.
And this Napier character was a mathematician of some kind.
Yes, known for inventing logarithms, and he actually popularized use of the decimal point.
And his great grandson Alan played Alfred the Butler on
There
Batman.
you go.
Alan Napier.
Not only was he without Peer, he was out without Napier. So there you go.
All right. So he kept pigeons. He was a magician. People thought he was a magician who traveled with a black spider. He called the Pope the Antichrist, or he predicted that the world would come to an end in 1700.
Right. One of these is false.
One of these is false. Well, the world coming to an end in 1700 sounds very interesting. It sounds pigeons, magicians. I'll say D. world coming to an end in 1700. He probably said 1800.
Is that your
Yeah.
final answer?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I have a prediction to make myself. I predict that is the wrong answer. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the wrong
okay.
answer. Sorry, David. He really did predict that. Vicki, you have a shot at stealing the question.
All right. Well, I might as well go with the Pope. I'll go with the Pope answer.
Gee, I wonder why. Okay. Final answer from Vicki Quade is that not only did he hate Pope Clement VIII, Napier often referred to him as the Antichrist. Actually, he referred to him as Uncle Christ. It was a very no. I don't know.
God.
Well, without Leslie here to steal, we still have a.
Oh, that was the wrong answer?
Both of them were wrong. So,
okay. Yeah. So the Pope's wrong. Okay.
It has to do the correct incorrect answer was about the pigeons.
Oh, okay.
John Napier was annoyed by pigeons on his estate, so he put down grain soaked in alcohol and then caught the drunken ones so they couldn't fly away. So he didn't keep pigeons. He didn't like pigeons. He wanted to get rid of pigeons on his estate.
What did he do with them once he caught them?
I don't know.
You know that they eat pigeons in Egypt.
Oh. Yeah, I would try. Did you try it? Squab?
Yeah.
No,
it's not squab. It's pigeons. It's just like the pigeons we have here.
Just so you know,
yeah.
Leslie texted me 2 minutes. So, and that was over 2 minutes ago. So,
come on, sir.
2 minutes before she actually tries logging on.
So I say we just forge ahead.
Well, Vicki, the next question. Yeah. It's okay. She'll come on.
Seconds. So here we go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
1595 was the year, Vicki Quade. It is generally thought that on this day, William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet got its first performance. That ill-fated couple died in the play, but have a long storied history in art and entertainment, including mention in a bunch of popular music songs. In fact, all of these songs mention both Romeo and Juliet, except which?
Ooh, okay.
A, Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. B, Love Story by Taylor Swift. C, Grenade by Bruno Mars. Or D, Whatever I Had a Dream by Butthole Surfers.
Oh my God. The first one.
Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. Which is
I'm just guessing.
Wait, more cowbell. Well, I guess you're incorrect. It really is in that song. So.
Might be.
David Sheward, you get a chance to steal this question.
So it's either Love Story by Taylor Swift, Grenade by
Bruno Mars.
By who?
Bruno Mars.
Oh, Bruno Mars, or Whatever by the Butthole Surfers.
Yes.
Which of these does not mention Romeo and Juliet? Now that's too bad because I don't know any of these songs. And A, well, we can eliminate A because that was the one that Vicki guessed, and the previous question was an A. So I'll say it's pretty okay. Whatever is, since it's by a group with a name like Butthole Surfers, that's one that you think wouldn't have it, so it probably does. And Love Story probably would, but it doesn't. But it would be obvious that it would, but it probably doesn't. So I'm going to say B, Love Story.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Even though this game is moving so swiftly, I'm afraid that is not correct, David.
Oh.
So,
come on, Leslie, come on.
Yeah. Well, let me explain. I'm afraid this is still going to have to go 0-0, but because I'm going to explain the answer to this one. The answer was the Bruno Mars song "Grenade," which is actually about a lover saying he'd take a grenade for his girl.
I do anything for love.
Right, I do anything, but not that. But he doesn't mention Romeo and Juliet. However, the Blue Oyster Cult song "Don't Fear the Reaper" has a line that says Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. And then the song by the Butthole Surfers was actually written for the soundtrack of the Romeo plus Juliet film. That starred Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Sure.
And mentions Romeo waving before this chorus girl and beggar's hair, Juliet up in heaven, a pocket full of pills. So,
Oh.
Lord.
yeah, so there you go. That's, oh my God.
Exciting.
What timing? What timing? Ladies and
Is she
gentlemen.
coming on? Is she?
Trying, it
She's
says.
trying. Of course she's trying.
Trying.
Come on, Leslie.
All
You
right,
can do
so
it.
shall we go on?
There's more suspense in this game of
This is-
wondering
well,
Leslie will
I
make
Ah,
it.
there we go.
No.
I suppose we should go on.
Leslie Hoban.
No, there she is. I see her.
Yeah,
I
oh,
mean,
I don't see her yet.
I
Hold
see
on.
the name.
Yep, here we go.
Come on, Leslie. Yes.
We're watching Dave's Gone By the way, with me, Dave Lefkowitz, Leslie Hoban Blake, Vicki Quade, David Sheward. Hello, Leslie. How are you? Real quick, how are you?
I don't know how I am. Oh, there we are. Okay. Am I on?
Yes, you're
Yeah,
on.
that's-
You know what? It's
I'm half asleep. If I don't do well today, that's my excuse. I'm
Oh,
truly
yeah,
half
right.
asleep.
Yeah, there's an excuse. It's like, all right. Leslie, very quickly, how are you? And then we've got your question, literally right now, your question. So how are
I'm
you?
fine. I'm fine. Thank you. I'm just overtired. I
Oh,
didn't sleep
Leslie
well
needs
last
a
night.
number.
Hello, back from Egypt. Are you?
Hello, darling. How are
Do
you?
not ask her about Egypt. We spent the first 15 minutes asking her
Okay,
about Egypt.
okay. I don't get to chat. Sorry, that's my
That's
punishment.
right.
I don't get to chat. Okay.
Now,
All
Leslie,
right. I
please
got
pick a number between 1 and 6.
6, please.
6. Okay. Here we go. Leslie, your question is. So far, by the way, it's a 0-0 game. So
Oh,
it's
0 sum, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
1845 was the year. Published today in the Evening Mirror is Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, the poem that made his name, if not a fortune. Which of these is true about ravens? A. Ravens can mimic sound, sometimes even better than parrots, but they can't actually mimic human speech. B. The Baltimore Ravens have never won a Super Bowl. C. A group of ravens is called a wake. D. Although rare, there are white ravens and they have blue eyes.
Okay, let me just
All
run
of
that
these are
quickly.
false, except one is true.
One is true. Okay. You had to go and screw that up for me, right? Okay. So A is
I'll read them again.
what is A? I don't know.
Sure. Ravens can mimic sound, sometimes even better
Sound.
than parrots. but they
Okay,
can't
got it.
mimic
All right.
human speech.
B, go ahead.
B. The Baltimore Ravens have never won a Super Bowl. C. A group of ravens is called a wake. D. Although rare, there are white ravens and they have blue eyes.
I know that crows are called a murder of crows, so a wake of ravens sounds appropriate.
Actually, Jewish people call it a yard site of ravens. It's a very,
You're so Jewish.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry. That's an inside joke for the rest of you people.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm the best half of Jew around. No Super Bowl. The Ravens, no Super Bowl. I don't know a thing about that. I don't know anything about football. Super Bowl is football, I think. Sounds interesting. So the Raven could not have said nevermore because they can't do words if that's true. White raven with blue eyes, wouldn't that be gorgeous? No idea. Which one is true? I'm going to say.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you froze.
I'm going to say it's a.
You
What?
You froze for a moment. What was your answer?
I didn't give it yet. I'm going to say C. Oh, what were the previous two ones, David?
A and C.
Thank you. Okay, now I'm caught up. I'm going to say C is correct.
You're going to say it's true that a group of ravens is called a wake.
I think of anything else that would be called.
Final answer?
Yes.
Well, Leslie, I'm glad you're awake, but that is not the correct answer, I'm afraid.
Darn it.
Ooh,
It sounded
fooled you
so
with that
good.
one.
You're frozen, David.
I'm frozen now? Yeah, uh-oh.
No, you're not.
Was it
You're
yes or
not.
no? You froze. I don't know if I got it or I didn't get it.
You didn't get it. You didn't get it. No, that's
Didn't
not
get it.
correct.
Okay,
There's
so
still
it's not that.
opportunity.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Here we go. We're going to roll the die. It came up Leslie's number 6, which is on the wheel. It's closer to Vic. Oh, no, you know what? Fuck. We're not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait until I get either her number or his.
Don't
So
leave the
number
wheel, as
5,
they say.
5, 4. All right. Who the hell is 4? Nobody's 4.
I'm 3.
God damn it. All right. 3. Who's 3?
I'm 3.
David.
David Sheward, you have a steal opportunity.
Okay. All right. So which of these is true?
Yes.
Ravens can't sound like. Wait. Read the A again.
Of course. Ravens can mimic sound, sometimes even better than parrots, but they can't actually mimic human speech.
Okay.
Or
B is the Baltimore Ravens have never won a Super Bowl.
Right.
And C is there are white ravens with blue eyes.
That's D. But
That's
yeah.
D.
Okay. Now I've never even heard of the Baltimore Ravens. Maybe they don't even exist. Maybe that's not a real team.
They do.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with which of these is true, huh?
Right. Only one of those is true.
Now, so all right. I think there are white ravens with blue eyes. They call them honky ravens.
So bad.
They call
Oh,
them.
I'm so glad I got up finally.
They call them cracker ravens.
That's right.
Because they're
Hey.
rotating. Yeah.
So bad.
Hey, cracker raven.
Uh-oh, Leslie, you did freeze. Oh, now you're good.
Okay, let's see. I can't think of a good joke about that. And they
Hey,
don't have.
good.
And
Nothing
they
that won't
don't,
get me thrown off of Facebook. Yeah.
and they don't have rhythm. Okay, let's see.
Oh God.
They like to eat white bread and mayonnaise.
Ew.
Oh, hello, Sicily. Let's go to the White Raven Country Club.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's.
Right.
I'll say A. I'm going to say A is true.
You say A is true.
Yes, they cannot make human sounds.
Well, I am ranting and raving about your answer. However, it is not the correct answer, David Sheward.
They can make human sounds, really?
Yeah, and that's probably why my Edgar Allan Poe had the raven talking. They
And say nevermore, right? Sure.
But I thought that was just poetic license. But anyway, go ahead.
you don't need a license to be a poet.
I thought it was drunken ravings. Actually, is what I thought.
Okay, all right.
I think we
Okay,
have a
for me
final
now.
steal opportunity here.
Okay, it's the Baltimore Ravens have never won, or have won, or have never won.
Never won.
Never won. And the other one is the White Ravens with blue eyes.
Right.
Boy, I have
One of
never
those is
seen,
true.
is true. I have never seen a white raven with blue eyes. That doesn't mean they don't exist. So I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens.
Is that your final answer?
Total guess. Yes.
Well, I'm afraid you don't get 7 points or 6 or 3 or any there. The Baltimore Ravens have won.
Okay. So it is white ravens. That's
The
true.
White Raven.
They are rare. Here's the deal. This is the weird
Wow.
thing. They're not albinos. They have a condition called leucism, and Leucism, which is a partial loss of pigment. So there are white ravens with blue eyes.
Interesting.
And, yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Ravens have won 2 Super
Are they
Bowls.
called honky ravens?
Honk-
That's what I heard.
Honky Ravens. And this is my favorite thing though. You get a wake of buzzards,
Oh,
and you know what ravens are? An unkindness.
oh, interesting.
An
Oh,
Wow.
that is
unkindness of
interesting.
ravens.
Who decides these things?
Who decides everything in Webster's dictionary? Like
Probably an all-
Merriam.
Webster. Webster decided everything. That's
Who
who
the hell is
decided.
Merriam anyway? Who is that?
His partner.
girlfriend. His girlfriend.
His friend. Yeah, okay. It's like it was the partnership. that-
There were two guys who were interested in dictionaries.
Yeah.
That was what it was.
Right. And there was one in prison. No, like in a mental.
Oh
hospital.
yeah, I saw that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know. I was just.
It was a
you never
TV.
hear
It was a
about John
movie with
Merriam.
Mel Gibson.
I took a
Right.
course in
Oh, and Sean Penn was the
I
crazy
didn't
guy.
know any.
Oh, I had no idea. I want to see that movie. Wow.
And I looked it up and it was true. I mean,
It's
a lot
on
of it was
Netflix.
true.
So we come to the end of round 1, and
Or it's 0-0-0.
level playing field. We honestly do.
We're having a bad day.
Vicki, Leslie, and David Sheward. This is great because we're tied, right? So we don't. know
Right, we're
how
tied.
good we go.
I like that.
Oh,
It's a welcome home tie for Vicky.
the movie is called The Professor and the Madman, and I think it's on Netflix.
Ooh,
And it's good, Dave. I think you'd like it.
What?
Did you hear that? Joyce just got off the best line of the day. She said, "That's what we call our relationship."
Oh,
Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank
that's
you.
funny, Joyce.
Thank you
yeah, that's a
very
good
much.
Good
one.
one.
That's a good
And,
one.
Here we go.
which one is which? No,
Well,
never
she's the
mind.
full professor.
Never
She's an
mind.
honest professor.
I know she's the professor. I know.
All right, here we go. We have.
You're Marianne.
I'm gonna be Gilligan. Oh.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. I
Did
like
the
that.
professor and Marianne ever get together, if you know what I mean?
Oh well.
I think you like Mr.
No, wait a minute. I'm going to look it up in my Webster's.
Well, you know the joke, and I apologize for this beforehand. What's pink and smells like ginger? Gilligan's finger.
Oh.
God.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
variation
Something
on
just
the.
happened to my screen.
Oh.
There's a
Variation what?
large black box on my screen. I can only see Vicki and me. Oh wait, I can get rid of it. Never mind.
We're doing black box theater, Leslie. Yes.
I've
what
got
you
it.
were gonna
It's
say?
okay. Yeah.
Your
Funny.
joke-
Funny. Wait,
your
go ahead,
joke-
make a joke out of that, David. Go ahead.
No, I was
dare
just
you.
saying, David's joke is a variation on the one about Miss Piggy and Kermit.
Right. What's
Bacon.
What's
Green-
green and smells like ham?
Oh,
finger? Yeah,
No, I
classic.
think it's bacon. Isn't it what smells like bacon?
Oh, or bacon.
Or bacon.
Or
All right,
bacon.
we go into round two. Now
Okay.
that we've told disgusting jokes about white ravens and
Pigs.
pigs. Let's elevate the game once again to
I
round
just
two.
had a horrible image of a white raven having an affair with a pig.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
Think of a joke. Damn it! No.
Don't ask.
Okay. Okay.
Actually,
let's go
after
on.
that, the raven went broke because he went into hock. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't get to talk to Vicki about Egypt, but you guys get to make pig and frog jokes.
Because the Egypt stuff we
Okay.
already covered.
Yes. And
Oh, I
frog a
see.
la pig or
Excuse
pig
me.
a la frog.
And
depends.
there's such a huge audience out there for pig and frog jokes. Okay, got it.
Oh wait! I made up a frog joke last night. What was it?
I don't
Oh
remember.
no. Oh yes. I saw a movie.
Oh no.
A movie about a very exciting frog. Oh, it was riveting.
Uh,
Oh.
wah, 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 wah.
Oh, I like that.
And then,
Clean.
cute.
David, you
was
ate the
cute.
frog's legs. I know, David. Yes, right.
Okay.
David Sheward, this question is for you in
Okay.
the yesterday quiz.
All right.
It's worth 2 points if you get it right and you get on the board. 1861
Mhm.
was the year. Kansas becomes the 34th state of the Union. Which of these is false about Kansas?
Okay.
A. Topeka was the home of the very first Payless shoe store.
Okay.
B. Topeka was the home to the very first Dairy Queen.
Ooh.
C. Wichita was home to the very first Pizza Hut. Or D. Wichita was the home of the very first White Castle.
The White Castle in our neighborhood just closed.
Oh,
Oh, they said that about Queens, one of the first White Castles in
Yeah.
Queens.
Just a few blocks from me.
there were Egyptians living in it, I think.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So which of these is false or which is true?
Which of these is, 3 of these are true. 1 is false.
Oh. All right. Okay. Now we've had an A, a C, and a D, but that doesn't help me at all. Topeka, Topeka. It's the home of the Payless and the Dairy Queen. All right. So one of these is false.
Yes.
All right. Okay. There's no way I can know this. Now I would think I think White Castle is more of an East Coast thing. So you know what? I'll say D. The Wichita is not the home of the first White Castle.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. Yes.
Look, I put on closed captioning, David. Look.
Oh, look at that. That's so great. Then we actually have instant closed captioning for this show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So now our words will live forever. But David Sheward, I'm afraid you built a castle on sand. With that. It is not the correct answer. So I'm going to roll the die.
Okay.
Let's see. It came up directly number 6, which is Leslie's number. So Leslie, you have a steal opportunity.
So a couple of things. My ex-husband, my late ex-husband, now was from Topeka, Kansas. So that immediately, don't ask, I met him here. I didn't meet him there.
You didn't
Everybody
meet-
comes
okay,
to,
yeah.
everybody comes to New York. And when I was a child, Sheward,
Yes.
and school early, he would take us for White Castle. We lived in St. Louis, and he would
Oh.
take us for White Castle. So it was definitely a Midwest thing that moved
Oh.
east, not
Oh.
the other way around. The
Okay.
best of my
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're
see again,
frozen.
please.
Yeah.
You were
Let's
freezing,
don't
but
move
you're
around
okay
much
now.
because
Could I have letters?
You're back.
Could I have letters? It says here my internet connection is unstable.
Yeah.
Let me explain. It's not the internet connection.
Along with everything else.
I'll read again the clues.
Please.
Leslie,
I
it may
well, I
help
got
if you
those.
flip
It's
around.
Payless, Dairy Queen, and then blank. I don't know what in
Pizza-
Wichita.
Pizza
What
Hut.
was
in Wichita.
Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut.
Okay. So I'm going to use David's thing. I'm going to go with B, Dairy Queen in Topeka, because I have no idea.
Is that your final answer?
Sure, why not? I told you everything I know about Kansas. Those were the two things I know about Kansas. Go ahead.
Well, Leslie, not only do you have a sophisticated air about you, you have a fine dairy air about you, Leslie Hoban Blake, because that is the correct answer. Well done, Leslie Hoban.
I went back to your thing, David Sheward. You should have used your own.
It was
Right?
lucky. Yeah. And here's the deal.
When
Here's
in
what
doubt,
happened.
use the Sheward method. That's all. Okay.
Dairy Queen was.
Thank you, Sheward. I should give you a quarter of a point for that.
Yes, Doctor. You're the.
I'm no Dr.
Doctor.
Sue. I don't need it.
Okay.
No, but it's a finder's fee for, helping me find it.
Dairy Queen came from Kankakee, Illinois, followed by Joliet, Illinois, so it was in that state. Pizza Hut was formed in 1958 by two brothers, the Carney brothers, who just wanted somewhere to have decent pizza while attending college. And literally, they start while in college. White Castle was formed in 1921. Who knew? And this is great. This is the truth about White Castle. The hardest task of the people who founded that restaurant was convincing a public that had read Upton Sinclair's The Jungle that beef and
You're
restaurants
frozen.
could be
I can't hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
That
could
makes
hear you.
sense. Yeah, I can too.
Yeah, it's Leslie.
Leslie's having
The
some-
hardest task was what? I'm sorry.
was convincing a public that had voraciously read The Jungle by Upton Sinclair that it's okay to eat meat and eat in the restaurant because they were like freaking out
Eat
about it.
beef. Yeah.
No doubt. That's why they cooked those little flat burgers until they were like rubber. I
Well,
thought
they
they were the
turned
greatest thing
everything-
in the world.
Everything was stainless
and when
steel and gleaming.
As an adult, I realized they were like shoe leather with onions. They were awful. They were.
I'd had shoe leather with that.
However-
we got out of the house. So we were
I will-
bored. Listen, it was a treat.
I will tell you real quickly that my father was in the hospital. This was years and years and years ago because he's been dead for a long time. And he wanted us to sneak in some something from White Castle, but we didn't want to give him food. So we
Yeah,
gave him the milkshakes, and we sneaked in milkshakes from White Castle for him. So I have a huge soft spot in my heart for White Castle.
I don't get that. I've tried White Castle. I
Again,
don't know how people are
this
addicted to it.
connection is so unstable that I'm losing every other
Yeah. Leslie, it may work if you need to undo your video.
word.
on which
I'm
we just
sorry.
get to an audio.
You are frozen.
Yeah, no, wait, we see you.
You're
Leslie.
frozen.
So maybe if you can keep your audio
Okay.
and maybe that'll work. So
My
we still see you.
audio's on.
But turn off the
We still
video.
see you. We still.
Turn off the video.
I think
See
she
if that
might.
works.
Leslie, are you
But she's
still?
frozen. Now she's
Yeah,
frozen.
she's just frozen. We'll see how that goes. Oh,
There
Do
you
you want me to go
There.
out and come back? Do you want me to go out and come back again?
No, well,
No, you're here.
Or try turning off the video, but leave the audio. Because that will take up.
Thank you, David.
No, I'm saying that will take up less energy
Yeah.
or whatever.
Absolutely. I could have been here at the thing 5 minutes earlier. I wouldn't have bothered combing my hair in that case.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That seems to work better.
Yeah, we can hear you. Great.
let's see if that works. Let's see if she's done it. Thank God. All right, here, let's give it a whirl. What
Yeah.
So, by the way, Vicki, there's nothing wrong really with eating shoe leather. I mean, I call it soul food, but
No.
oh. And did you know that Payless was founded by Lithuanian Jewish immigrants, Louis Pozes and his cousin Shaul? So there you go.
And they made those shoes out of leftover White Castle hamburgers. That's what they said.
They did.
And
White Raven.
I had a friend in London who ran a Pizza Hut. I thought it was the funniest thing that there was a Pizza Hut in London. He was the manager of a Pizza Hut.
Well, now everything is everywhere. Now there's probably Pizza Huts and Dairy Queens in the middle
We're
of.
talking the late 60s. I was a,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know.
There's a
there was- I
Starbucks at
couldn't imagine there
Brandenburg
being a-
Gate.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
there's
Wow.
and there are McDonald's and KFCs in Johannesburg and
Right.
Pretoria and Cape Town.
Oh, yeah.
And Cairo. Cairo has McDonald's.
I figured.
I'm back. If it freezes again, I'll go away again. I want to be here.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay.
But Leslie, Vicki, I do want to ask you: was these places in Egypt? It's 20,022. Were they dotted with all our American and world brand things, or was it still like local stores?
No, we saw KFC and we saw McDonald's. We didn't go into them.
Right,
We
no,
ate
no,
the
but-
local food, but we saw
I just
them.
wonder if there's a Costco and there's a Target and there's a
And
so
yeah. No,
feel about that, you
not
know?
a Costco, not a Target. No, everyone shops on the street. You know, the vendors all go on the street. There's areas that people go. Like we want to buy
They have a B&B
tires.
photo.
There's a
but
market.
Anyway, let's get on to
In London,
Yeah.
in London, in the McDonald's, they have baked beans. You can get baked beans on toast because that's such a yes, you can. Because there are certain things that Brits cannot live without, like beans on toast. I don't
No,
understand. that.
Leslie, they also do that they tried it in the McDonald's in Poland, and it just became impossible because the beans kept falling through the grill. I'm sorry.
I'm also Polish.
That was pretty
David.
good. That was a
So
good
am
one.
I. Oh, thank you.
That was a
Thank you.
good one. That was a
Thank
good
you.
one.
We have a good question coming up to Vicki
You know who
Quade.
works there?
Who?
Albino Ravens.
Albino Ravens, right? Vicki Quade, we have a question for you. A part of.
Am
our-
I the next or is David the next?
I had the last question. And
Oh, okay, I'm the next. Okay, great.
I stole it.
I
Yes.
forgot.
We did. Leslie's on the board with 2 points in our second round here.
Okay.
of The quiz on Dave's Gone By. By the way, it's 11:03 in the morning Eastern Time. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife Joyce on the Noisemakers. And making some fun noise with us are David Sheward, Leslie Hoban Blake, and Vicki Quade, who is answering this trivia question potentially for 2 points to tie David Sheward. The
That's
year.
No, Leslie, to tie Leslie.
Try Leslie.
Forgive me.
I've
forgive
got
me.
0.
Hi, Leslie. Forgive me.
He just has it in his head that you are the best. You're the favorite son. This is the way it was in my family too. My sister, graduated with honors, and when she at her graduation, the guy said to my father, "Aren't you proud of her?" And he literally said, "But you should see her brother." I swear to you. So it was so awful, awful.
Horrible.
Sorry, that's sorry about that. Anyway, 1942.
It's like I'm used to it, David. I'm used to it.
Well, good. So we make fun of you here. You don't mind it. 1942 was the year, Vicki Quade.
Okay.
Multiple choice. Debuting tonight on BBC Forces Radio, the talk show Desert Island Discs, which continues to this day. In fact, the 2019 panel of industry experts in England voted it the best radio program of all time. Obviously, they'd never heard of Dave's Gone By. Anyhow, the show's format has a celebrity guest naming 8 records they take to a desert island. They're also asked which one book they would take and one luxury item. When musician Ed Sheeran appeared on the show in 2017, his book was Philip Pullman's fantasy trilogy, His Dark Materials. His luxury item was what? A pressure cooker, B, a lifetime supply of ketchup, C, the complete archive of Desert Island Discs, or D, a pizza oven.
You know what? I'm going to say ketchup.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, to tell you whether you're right or wrong, we have a very special guest. Who
Oh, it's the Spud. Is it? No. What is it?
It's a bottle.
It's a new potato. So potato.
Excellent.
Vicki Quade's answer was because they love ketchup, these guys. Vicki, you are the queen of my heart. You win. Yeah, well, she doesn't win the whole game yet, but yes, she put 2 points on the board for Vicki Quade. It is ketchup indeed. Ed Sheeran is nuts about ketchup. He has a tattoo of a Heinz bottle on his arm. That is not a joke. He's
He
just
made his own ketchup bottles, right?
yeah. Heinz did a special run of ketchups that Ed Sheeran ketchup with his design and
That-
everything.
So is that why his hair is ginger?
I wonder because to match a ketchup bottle.
what letter was that?
That was
B.
letter B.
A
So we
B.
have another
Oh,
B. We have two B's.
2 B's in a row.
That's
I
what
will say the
nothing-
reason I picked that is because in Egypt, we ordered pizza and it's so tasteless that they give you ketchup to put on it to have a little bit of taste. And I figured maybe Ed Sheeran likes a little ketchup for taste.
on every he has it on every he has it's just one thing in his touring contract is that there's always got to be ketchup. He's just
Wow.
but do you know who said pizza oven? For real?
Who?
Princess Margaret.
Lady
Why would
Gaga.
you say that? That's a great why would you think Princess Margaret?
Because there was a documentary about Princess Margaret recently, and they played a clip from her on Desert Island Discs,
Oh.
and
Oh.
this was in my mind.
Oh yeah. Actually, not believe it or not, Sophia Loren was
Oh.
on
Oh, that
in
makes sense.
Yeah,
February 2001 when she said pizza oven, which now, in retrospect, aha. But anyway, good job, Vicky.
yes.
And Potato is very happy that ketchup
Yeah.
is the answer on that question. So we
I
have
got to interview Sophia Loren when she did 9.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
they had the whole panel come, and
Oh.
they allotted us 1 or 2 people from the panel. We couldn't interview everybody. And there was this gorgeous woman who at that point, this was like 15, 20 years ago now, came out,
yeah.
was so gorgeous and so stately and so, regal, I should have said, was the word I should have said. She was in the movie, David.
Right,
That's
I-
the
I-
word.
Movie 9.
The movie 9, yes.
Wow.
And it was,
Do you even remember
it was
the
a,
question you asked her, or does it matter? I mean,
I don't. I have no idea. I barely could speak. It was like being in the presence of, an archangel or something.
wow.
She was always there in my life from as far back as I can remember. So,
And she still.
I did not say that to her.
So
I did not say that to her, but
no, but no, that's wow.
I think I complimented her on her performance, which was very nice. She played the grandmother. And then I asked some stupid question. We get 2 minutes in the hotel, and then I fell down and had a terrible accident and broke my kneecap. So,
Actually, I want to take one, and I know it takes up time, but I do want to ask this. You guys might know, especially David or Leslie. Has anybody heard from or know how Mario Frati is doing? He was
No,
on
I
the
haven't heard
show.
anything.
I think he's
Mario Frati? No, I tried. I have his daughter's email. I used to have it, and I tried to contact her, but I think she's changed her email.
Is he ill?
No, he's old. He's quite, he's an old man. He's living in New York, and for a while he would go all over the world. His plays were being done. He'd go back to Italy. He'd go to he was
I know.
honored everywhere. And then
He lives right on the corner of 55th, right off City Center. He lives right in that building on 55th Street.
Yeah, I think Tennessee Williams was his neighbor for many years. I'm not kidding. So and it's just sort of weird that the news about Mario has stopped, and the website is kind of not whatever. And a few years ago he funded a theater thing in New York for Italian plays and stuff. But I'm just saying, like in the past 4 or 5 years, nothing about him. Yeah. So I hope he's fine. I'm hoping he's just old. And then that's all. I thought maybe you guys, as his colleagues, I mentioned Mario Frati because he adapted 9 into.
And he was at the panel, but he wasn't on the panel. So he stood up from the audience and he said, "I am Mario Frati. I did the original," and asked some question. He had to introduce himself that way because nobody bought, even though he got a credit line in the movie.
Yeah,
I am Mario Frati. I loved him so much.
Love him. So
Yeah,
he's still
yeah.
potentially alive.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I love him. Yes.
Sorry about the
Okay.
detour. Let's get back
You're all
to the
frozen
game.
again. I'm gonna have to leave. Okay.
Okay,
So,
or just go on the audio only.
Leslie Hoban Blake, you can take the lead of this game.
It says, look,
What?
so I looked at his website,
Yeah. Oh,
and it says,
Joyce is looking at Mario Frati's website.
at 85, Fazio remains as prolific and vital an artist as ever.
He's
I've
older than
just
that.
written an appreciative, remarkable playwright critic. So it says here. That
But
it's
how old?
still,
How old was that posting? I'm sure he's 90 something now.
Oh, really?
If he's
Oh.
only 85,
He has his own website.
yeah. Well, he has for a while. Has he updated it? I mean, it might be new. It would be great if it were new.
Spotted Hunter.
And shout out to him, by the way. Keep looking. I would just love to know. All right, Leslie Hoban Blake. Multiple choice question for you. 1954.
Website says from until 2022. So there's a
Somebody updated the copyright on the website. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, the copyright on the website says from 2001 to 2022. Mario Fazio writes this, all,
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yay. All right.
Could you just give us, I didn't hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It just,
Joyce is looking at Mario's website and says, at the very least, at the bottom of the website, the copyright literally says this year. So somebody's
good.
updating that. So even if it's not him, it's somebody.
Possibly his daughter Valentina. Yes, of course. Okay.
1954, Leslie Hoban Blake. That was the year. By the way,
Okay.
I never mentioned that all of these questions, except for one or two, the idea is today is January 29th. All of these things happened on January 29th in history. Somehow I neglected to mention that. But January 29th, 1954, born today in Mississippi, is future talk show host, actress, and media mogul Oprah Winfrey. Which of these is false about Oprah? A, she was actually named Orpah, but people mispronounced it, so the change stuck. B, Winfrey was so poor, she sometimes wore potato sacks to school. What? Oh, hold on, I'm still reading the questions here, Potato. C, on the episode of Ellen, where Ellen DeGeneres came out as gay, Oprah played the therapist. Or D, Winfrey first got the idea to bring her show into syndication from Ted Koppel, whom she briefly dated.
I lost the fourth question.
Oh, it says he could be 93.
I could not hear D. Go ahead.
All right, I'll read D again. Oprah Winfrey first got the idea to bring her show into syndication from Ted Koppel, whom she briefly dated. One of these is false, the rest are true.
I am almost 100% sure that D is false because I've met Ted Koppel and his wife, and they were married like for 100 years. So I don't know that he was ever dating anybody other than the woman he was married to. I'm going to say D.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
Well, I'm glad you're coppling to that answer. It is the correct answer. Leslie Hoban Blake, did you guys know that one too? Did you guys
Yeah,
know that you
sure.
married?
She's a Chicago girl, she was here for years and years. It was Roger Ebert who really mentored her.
Yes, that's true. She dated Roger Ebert a couple of times, and he gave her the idea to syndicate. David, you were
And he married a woman of a very similar physique and type as
Yes.
Oprah, interestingly enough. So
Right.
I think,
Yes.
What?
yeah, and I knew that she did play the therapist on Ellen, and I heard the
and
stuff.
she talked about the potato sacks.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. What? Can we talk
Yes.
more about potatoes?
Yes, potato. She talked about yes.
Wow. I've always wanted to get her in the sack. The potato sack. Ah! All right, potato, stop it. Anywho,
What do you call a sad potato?
What is a
Oh no, I thought you know the answer.
What is a potato's favorite TV show?
It's like knock
Yes.
knock.
Okay.
Oh, I get it.
Okay. Here we go. We are at the end of round 2 of our Today, Yesterday quiz with our wonderful panelists, Vicki Quade, Leslie Hoban Blake, David Sheward, all playing for absolutely no reason except for fun. And we have a game that is, right down the line. Leslie with 4 points, Vicki with 2, David Sheward yet to get on the board. But anything can happen still in the third round of our Today, Yesterday quiz. The year, David Sheward, this question goes to you to start our third round, was 1964. Premiering today from Columbia Pictures, Dr. Strangelove,
Oh.
an instant classic film satire starring Peter Sellers and somebody you know a bit about, George C. Go figure. The George C. Scott question will come right to you.
Go ahead.
According to mentalfloss.com, which of these is false about the movie Dr. Strangelove?
Okay.
A, it was Goon Show star Spike Milligan who suggested using We'll Meet Again as the music for the final scene. B, Peter Sellers playing multiple roles was the studio's idea, not Kubrick's. C, an early version of the movie originally ended not with an iconic missile ride, but with a pie fight. Or D, Dr. Strangelove's glove was modeled on the gloves Peter Lorre wore when he played the child killer in Fritz Lang's M.
So which of these is true or which is false?
One of these is false. The others are true.
Okay, the pie. Okay, I may be giving away if I get stuff wrong, but I gotta do it. The pie fight is true, and if you take the final scene in the war room, everybody's got pie on them, and it's sort of, or the remains of the pie fight is there. So let's see. So which of these is false?
Yes.
Okay. So the pie fight is true. The studio, okay. Goon Show, Peter Lorre. It's embarrassing if I get this wrong because I did do research on this film, but I know about the pie fight, but the other three I'm not too sure about. I don't remember the part about.
Just pretend you're freezing or breaking up, and then we can.
Oh yeah, right.
You have an excuse.
Yeah. So, then I woke up too late. I'm not awake yet. So the
right.
choices
We have
are.
jet lag.
The choices are some guy from the Goon Show suggested that the
That's
final music
Spike
be
Milligan,
We'll Meet
yeah.
Again,
Mhm.
or the studio said that Peter Sellers should play multiple roles. The pie fight or the gloves that Dr. Strangelove wore were modeled on the gloves that Peter Lorre wore in M. Okay, all right. And the last one was a D. We've had two. I don't think there's going to be another D. We've had two Ds, two Bs, a C, and an A. Oh God. A.
Well, you're going just sort of. So you're saying that the false one is it was Goon Show star Spike Milligan who
Yeah.
suggested using We'll Meet Again.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna change that. I'll say B. That the studio. It's false that the studio suggested Peter Sellers play multiple roles and not Kubrick.
Final answer.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Well, I think, David Sheward, you need to join the buyers because the Sellers isn't doing right for you. Not the correct answer was the studio's idea.
Oh.
Because the true story is.
Well, you didn't give us a chance to answer.
I'm not giving you the
He's
rest.
just telling us about the
that
B. The
one.
B.
Oh, got it.
The studio, Sellers was in another movie where he played multiple roles and was a hit. It was Lolita. Actually.
Mouse That Roared was the movie. The Mouse That Roared.
Mouse that Roared, right? And he also played two roles. Or did he play two roles in Lolita? Or he was just.
I think he played two. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He played Claire something in Lolita.
Claire Quimby.
Claire Quimby.
Quiller.
But the studio saw it. It was a hit movie.
David Anniston.
He did not play a nice nin. But anyway, the studio saw that it was a hit movie, and they thought, oh, okay, let's have Sellers play more roles. So that was their idea. Let's roll the die.
Okay.
Wait a minute. While you're doing that, I have to go like this.
Yeah, did you like what? I missed
I
that.
don't get that.
We're doing the arm. We're doing the arm.
Strangelove. Dr.
Yeah, we're
Strangelove.
doing the arm
Oh.
and salute.
Oh,
Well, Vicki, I salute you because I just rolled a number 2, and I've got a wife.
Excellent.
So Vicki.
no, Laura Engel did that at the Republican convention, and she stopped herself real quick.
Or the runner, that runner with the explosive.
Oh well, that's a whole different thing.
What I remember about Dr. Strangelove is I think it's James Earl Jones's first film. Am I right about that?
He was in it, and I think I'm not sure if it's his first movie, but he was in it. Yes.
It's a very early one. And also, is it Slim Pickens who rides the?
Yeah.
And he thought it was like a legitimate film. He didn't like he didn't realize it was kind of a dark satire, you know.
Released on this day in 1964, Strangelove.
Yeah, that's why it's a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Vicki,
so tell me, I'm so sorry. Tell me them
I'll
again.
read them again. So here's the deal. Released today in 1964, Doctor.
No, just the answers. I mean, that's
Okay,
fine.
okay, but one of these is false about
Okay.
the movie Doctor Strangelove. A, it was Goon Show star Spike Milligan who suggested using "We'll Meet Again" as the music for the final scene. C, an early version of the movie originally ended not with an iconic missile ride by Slim Pickens, but with a pie fight. Or D, Dr. Strangelove's glove was modeled on the gloves Peter Lorre wore when he played the child killer in Fritz Lang's M.
I'll have to say the music. It could have been someone else who suggested that.
Is that your final answer?
Sure.
Well, Vicki, you and a correct answer will meet again someday, but not in this particular question.
Darn it.
And Blake, steal opportunity.
First of all, David Sheward has to give a member of the Monty Python Funny Voice Club, because Spike Milligan, that's some guy, you said some guy from the Goon Show.
Yeah.
Spike Milligan was the reason that there was a and Peter Sellers were the Goon Show. So I'll have to let you borrow my record sometime, because it is a record. It doesn't come on anything else. Okay. It says my internet is unstable, so I'll give you an answer. You already gave me the other one. It is the glove. It has to be the glove. It's false. That's all that's left.
Final answer?
Yes.
Everyone give Leslie Hoban Blake a gloved hand, because Leslie, who now has 6 points, got that right. And yeah, I was looking at the movie M because I thought Peter Lorre was wearing gloves. His hands look so weird, but they're not. They're weirdly licked, chubby little hands. So there's no glove. And
David, thank you for giving away the thing about the pie fight. I knew it anyway. I knew it anyway.
Yeah, I had to do it too.
It's okay.
But yeah, and by the way, the story about the glove that Dr. Strangelove wears, it was Stanley Kubrick's own
Excuse me.
that he used to work with hot lights and equipment. So he let Sellers borrow that glove for the scenes. So there you go. Well done, Leslie Blake. Leslie, you are, even though you missed the first 2 questions,
Bless you.
Thank you.
you are in the lead and rather commandingly.
Yeah.
Is that all the sand that's blowing all over you? Oh, thank you. I like the commanding. I like that very much. I'll just do this is my hand. I'll do this thing. And it's screwing in a light bulb.
This question is going to be really important to Vicki, because Vicki, you can still tie the game.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have 4. Okay.
You have a shot. You have 2. Vicki has 6.
2. Oh.
But if you get this right and then you steal the next question, we could go into the.
I got it. Okay, so this is important. Okay.
Here we go. This is super important. More important than what's going on in Ukraine. More important than bridges collapsing in America. No, here we go. All right. 3 clues.
Oh no, I've been out of the country for 2 weeks. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but you've been back.
All your fault.
Go ahead.
This one's cute. All right. 3 clues. These 3 words are not connected to each other, but they are connected to another word. So it could be blank, the word we're looking for, blank, for all these 3 words. They are pointing to something that was in the news in a manner of speaking. Sorry for keeping you up, David. All right, here we go. The 3 clues in the news are, Vicki, cocktail, Baum, Burns.
Cocktail, bomb,
Baum,
burn.
B-A-U-M, Baum.
Yeah, bomb, Burns. Cocktail, bomb, Burns. George Burns. Cocktail. Molotov. Molotov Burns.
It would if you threw one.
Molotov bomb. No. Bomb in Gilead. No. Oh my God. Something happened in the last 2 weeks. The White House has a kitten. I know that.
a fully
I
grown
saw that on
cat.
the news.
Is that called- oh, is it
It's a
really?
cat. It's
Isn't it a fully
It's got
grown cat? I think it's a
Yeah,
fully
it's a
grown
fully
cat.
grown cat. All right. Um, burns, something burns. Um, oh my God, I know this is an important clue.
It really is.
It is
This is
bomb.
shot-
What's the first one? I'm sorry.
I'll do it again. Cocktail.
Oh, cocktail. That cocktail. Yeah.
As you pronounce it, balm, but we might say baum. Burns.
I'm from the Midwest. We say bomb. Um, medicine, cocktail, medical. Wrong.
Is that your final answer?
Sure, might as well be. Go ahead.
Well, call the doctor because medical is not the
Yeah,
correct
of course it's not.
answer. Let's see, I just rolled a 5. I don't think that belongs to anybody. I just rolled a 6. Leslie Hoban Blake, you can.
Come on, Leslie.
Thanks a lot. Boy, I have no, that word is
Uh-oh.
bomb.
Middle
Yeah,
clue,
you know what you
remember,
stuff you put on yourself.
No, I just,
in
because
the
I
news.
had written down baum originally, when you were
Yes,
saying
it is.
baum.
It
I
is
got,
Baum. It is-
BALM.
No, it's BAUM.
that's
Bomb. BAUM.
Yes.
BAUM, not that
Oh, I
doesn't
was
help
thinking
me, but
bomb.
I
Well,
know,
that's
but
what I know. That's why I
it
spelled
doesn't
it.
help. Either
Bomb.
one is, either
BAUM.
one is
Yeah.
burn baum.
Oh. Oh, okay. Bomb.
Okay.
Well, there was a Vicki Baum. I don't know that that helps, but you know.
Who wrote The Wizard of
I
Oz?
have no idea.
L. Frank Baum. That's
I'm
it.
just gonna pass. I have no idea. I can't come up with any.
Okay, you're sure you're going to
Fruit.
pass, Liz?
Molotov, Vicky, Robert. None of these are the right answer. So just go. Forget it. Give it to David. He
Let's
needs
give
a
it to
point
David.
anyway.
You
Go
have
ahead.
an
Go
answer
ahead.
For our 3 clues in the news.
Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Bomb. Would
How was
Oz?
TikTok back then?
Oz. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Frank.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Vicky, you said it before David was even. You said it was Frank.
Frank.
Cocktail Frank.
Oh,
Well,
Frank
Wizard
Frank
of
Burns.
Oz.
How did you happen to have those books just sitting there,
know,
David?
I went to the other room to get them.
Yeah. I mean,
Frank.
since it was Oz here.
Oh, I didn't see you leave. I'm sorry. I was busy
You know what?
writing down.
I was thinking balm. B-A-U
No,
B-A-L-M.
I spelled it. It's B-A-U-M.
B-A-U-M. B-A-U-M. I may have
Excellent.
pressed it. Oh, Frank
Excellent.
Burns.
So
Excellent.
it was
Very nice.
Frank Burns from MASH. So,
Sure.
and Frank was in the news. Anybody know?
Oh, and Frank, the one, the guy about, it was like, oh, Robert Kennedy Jr., may he live in infamy. That son of a bitch bastard, anti-vaxxer, got up on a stage and said
Okay.
that vaccination was as bad as that even Anne Frank could live in an attic. Son of a bitch bastard. And the
How
Jews
was
could
that-
climb over mountains.
How
Didn't
did
say
that
they could go, but he
What-
said they
comparison?
rolling
Robert
over
Kennedy.
in his grave.
What he said that what about Anne Frank and back?
He said that the vaccinators were worse than the Nazis because the Jews could walk over the mountains to freedom,
Yeah.
and that Anne Frank could live in an attic. Even Anne Frank could live in an attic, he said. I heard him say it
Saying
from my
that you
Frank
own-
had it better than Americans living under a vax mandate.
But how how is living in an
It
attic?
made no sense anyway, but the point is he's an idiot, and I'm,
She was
oh
hiding.
God,
She was hiding.
No kidding. We normal people know
he's a
this.
Shonda to his family.
He
It
is. He
it's-
is, Leslie. I'm sure they're mortified.
She was hiding. It's not like she.
Yes.
We know that, David. That's the whole point. We
Yeah.
know that.
And the sad part is that Kennedy was on the right side of so many environmental
Yeah.
issues until this.
And a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So Leslie won.
Question,
Oh, yeah,
were
Leslie won.
Beans or Burns?
Burns. It was Frank
Burns.
Burns.
Was
Frank
the
Burns.
last word
Burns.
Frank Burns? Okay.
Frank
Okay.
Burns
No, I
and
didn't.
the-
I wasn't even
Going to
close.
the grill.
I think I would have
just couldn't
gotten that if I
imagine
had
you
known
had
it
the
was
book
Baum.
sitting right there.
I didn't. They
You
weren't
know,
sitting right there. I went and got.
Collection of first edition. My brother spent a lot of his college and medical school years collecting all of the original Oz books,
Mm.
and I think they're first editions.
Oh,
And then he raised his kids on them. You know, he
Oh.
or tried to. Of course, they didn't really care after a while, but you know,
Including-
they
including the ones by Ruth Plumley Thompson.
I'm not sure. I think they were all the L. Frank Baum ones, but I gave up trying to remember. He has a whole, you know, it's a whole wall full of them.
Frank Baum wrote the first 14 Oz books, and then when he died, this woman named Ruth Plumley Thompson wrote another 14 or something.
I don't know, but I say he certainly has more than 14, so he must have those as well.
And
What are
they're
you doing
about-
with them all? Do you have all of them? Or
No, I
just
don't have
those?
all of them.
I think doing new Oz stories is kind of wicked, though. But anyway.
Ah,
Hey, so
That's
so
true.
my grade school, David, you may be interested. I'm just going to use this as the size, as a size reference.
yeah.
But look at the size of this book, okay? My grade school had a complete set of the L. Frank Baum Wizard of Oz books. And years later, I really thought, oh my God, what did they do? They were gorgeously illustrated.
Yes.
And I'm sure some librarian just tossed them because they thought, well, we need some better copies.
Oh,
I was a librarian. Librarians do not toss books.
Is it
Oh, yeah,
Leslie's
they do.
turn?
oh,
That's
yes,
good
they
to
do.
know.
Is it
They-
Leslie's turn?
Oh,
No.
I forgot was to
Oh,
finish
I get
the-
a turn. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Okay,
Leslie,
go ahead.
Leslie
Shoot,
can
shoot.
really.
Go ahead, I
build
don't
on
care.
her win. Leslie, maybe we can move 2 of these points to next week, so you have a head start. But here we go. If you get this, I'm kidding.
Every week because I'm smoking at this point.
You
Sorry,
are.
I'm
You're
sorry,
just
but I'm going to
cruising.
say it. I'm going to pat
You're
myself on the
excellent.
back. I'm
Good.
glad I got up finally. Okay,
There
good.
you go. You're awake and ready to play.
Yeah, I regret texting Leslie.
Oh,
Was it you who
Nice.
tested me? Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Somebody texted.
At my suggestion.
I set 2 alarms and turned them both off.
Oh,
Oh.
all right, Leslie, we have a musical question for you. A musical.
Of course.
question
Do I have to
related
sing the
theater.
answer?
What? No, you could. No, no, you couldn't.
Lucky you. Okay.
Multiple
go
choice.
ahead.
1998 was the year. Opening, and I'm sure you remember this, opening tonight on Broadway. Paul Simon's highly anticipated but much embattled musical, The Cape Man,
Mhm.
which hangs on for only 2 months at the Marquee Theater. Although the musical didn't last, Paul Simon's musical career continued. In fact, he's released 5 albums since the turn of the century. Which of these is not one of them?
oh,
A,
Popcorn.
Stranger to Stranger. B, Everything Waits to be Noticed. C, In the Blue Light. Or D, Surprise.
or didn't he do one? Art Garfunkel is the real brains of the operation.
I
No.
Oh,
don't
no.
think you would ever say that. No. So,
What was B again? Evening what?
Everything Waits to be Noticed.
Everything. Okay. How many albums did he do altogether? I just missed that number.
Since 2000, and including
How many?
2005. So 3 of these are among them. 1 of these is not.
Cape Man took place in the park on 17th. I used to live in Chelsea.
Well, the real one.
The actual event was in the little children's park next to junior high school 17 was where that happened, that event. Okay. I think everything waits to be whatever. Everything waits to be seen.
to be noticed.
Which was not, wait a minute, no, which is
Oh, you
blue
froze.
light, blue light. I'm gonna say blue light.
You're saying In the Blue Light was not a Paul Simon album of the last 20 years.
Was not.
2 years, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna.
Final answer?
Well, I'm going against the. Oh,
Oh,
you played the sound already.
No.
You
Is
played
that-
the sound already. Well, Leslie, but I haven't,
We're frozen when he asked, so.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm screwing up David's system if I do that, but yeah, that's the one I think it is.
In the Blue
Is
Light.
in the blue
It's
light.
not a Paul
Is
Simon
not
album.
what.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, Leslie, I'm feeling so sad and blue because that is not the correct answer. That is a Paul Simon record. So, like I said,
Go
can't believe
back
I'm
for the 2 points. Squabble amongst yourselves.
Okay, I hit a 5 on the die. I'm hitting a 2 on the die.
Oh,
Vicky,
cool.
Vicky
Oh,
Quade.
it's me.
Yeah.
Okay, read the other three again.
Okay, which of these is not a recent or fairly recent Paul Simon album? A. Stranger to Stranger. B. Everything Waits to Be Noticed. D. Surprise.
Jeez. I have no idea. None. I'm going to say,
Well, you playing none, but yeah.
I do. I'm going to say surprise. Again, total guess.
Is this your final answer?
Sure.
Well, Ricky, surprise! You're wrong. So, David Sheward, steal opportunity for you.
Okay. Now, what are the letters that are left?
A
and B.
versus B.
And what are they?
A. Stranger to Stranger. B. Everything Waits to Be Noticed.
All right, so we've had one A, and two Bs, which means absolutely nothing. So Stranger to Stranger or Everything Waits to Be Noticed.
Correct.
I'll say A.
Stranger to Stranger. Is that
Stranger
your
to Stranger is
final
not a Paul Simon album.
Well, this quiz just gets stranger and stranger. But David, sure, I seem to have stumped the panel. The non-Paul Simon album is Everything Waits to Be Noticed, which was a 2002 Art Garfunkel album.
Oh,
So there you go. The rest are real. In the Blue Light was his most recent record, released in 2018.
So that means there were
that
three
is Paul
Bs.
Simon.
That means there were three Bs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever.
I didn't create the quiz to be that mathematically systematic. And when he started doing that, I started having to undo and redo.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I shouldn't have
That's
told you. I shouldn't have told you.
yeah. It's all in fun.
Leslie, yay!
And no, that was the
Shall we
So
do
we'll-
the tiebreaker, guys? Shall we break?
Yes, of course. I think we should call this episode the three Bs.
All right, let me get a piece of paper.
The
Okay.
Barrel House, the Boogie Woogie, and the Blues.
There you go. The Black Raven, let's see,
Albino Raven.
the White Castle, the Bayless, don't know where else. The Dr. Bangelove. All right, I don't know where I'm going.
That's a song from Best Foot Forward, I think.
Oh,
Barrel House Blues.
Barrel House, the
Woogie,
Boogie. It's this college, and they're saying, but we don't want Beethoven, Brahms, and Bach. We want the Barrel House, the Boogie Woogie, and the
right
Blues.
in the movie.
In the movie that Nancy Walker and Alice Faye and Gloria, not Alice Faye, June Allison and Gloria. Is it Gloria DeHaven?
June Allison. I kept saying
June Allison, but I forget who the third
June
one.
Allison, and I guess nobody can hear me.
We
No,
can
I
hear
heard it
you.
was June Allison.
We
Was
heard
it?
you.
And was one of the boys Peter Lawford?
No, that was Good News.
Oh, okay. Right. Gotcha.
lost.
One of the Bobby Sockers.
We have a tiebreaker, even though it was. By the way, congratulations.
Yes.
Leslie, on the
Yes,
record on your-
excellent.
Thank you. I've already taken my victory lap in my head. It's all right.
There you go. So we have this.
It's all right. David Sheward, next week he's gonna think you won. He always thinks you won, so it doesn't make any difference whether I actually do or
I
not.
will try and remember next week that
Perception.
Sure. I'm gonna wear
Oh,
Perception.
Frozen.
I'll write it in eyebrow pencil.
Perception
Right,
is
yeah.
reality.
yeah.
Perception is reality.
Here we go.
Yes, it is. In
Okay.
our lifetime, it's become that.
Okay.
All right. We have a question is not multiple choice. So you're gonna have to write the answer, hold on to your
Right.
answer, and then when I count down, you'll hold it to the camera
Screen.
so we
Yeah.
can see it. All right. The year was 1901, January 29th, 1901. Born today is an engineer and inventor who first worked with cathode ray tubes and then with early television. In fact, in 1942, he founded a TV network that bore his name. Jackie Gleason, Arthur Murray, and Ernie Kovacs all had shows on it, but the network still lasted only till 1956. Name that network.
Oh, the network.
The network.
Um,
It's also the guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
an
Okay.
inventor. No idea.
I think Leslie and David kind of are like, we got this one, but
Yeah, no.
Take a stab.
Stab. Oh, all right.
I'll
It's
give-
an East
give-
Coast thing, Vicky.
Do you guys mind if I give Vicki a clue? And this might help.
You
Solidify.
could. It's not going to help.
Oh, it might. It might, because if you get it right, I'll give you high marks.
Oh, I don't know. And I still don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. None. All right, go ahead.
Oh, we put on nunsforfun.com. There you go. All
Yeah,
right.
right.
Are you guys ready to? I'll read the question
Sure.
again and then hold up your answers to the camera. 1901 was the year. Born today is an engineer and inventor who first worked with cathode ray tubes and then with early television. In fact, in 1942, he founded a TV network that bore his name. Jackie Gleason, Arthur Murray, and Ernie Kovacs all had shows on it, but the network still lasted only until 1956. Name that network. 3, 2, 1. Well done, well done. I'm Vicki Quade. Vicki, you win. Yes, you can. No. It's well done, guys. It was Dumont, Dr. Alan B. Dumont, who founded the network and all that stuff. So, yay, well done.
Dumont became Channel 5. It became WNEW Channel 5 in New York. And I used to go to school at Julia Richmond High School, right down the street from it. So I passed it every day. And
wow.
there were no stars because it was in the daytime, it wasn't, but,
No.
and it wasn't, those people weren't around anymore, but that's how I knew, and our first television set was a Dumont, I think. When I was a wee little girl.
But wasn't Chicago a center of early television?
Yes,
and-
absolutely.
And that's where Kukla, Fran, and Ollie started, and Dave
Right.
Garroway.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow. Well done. So, Leslie, you would have gotten 2 points in the tiebreaker anyway. So, well done. Big day for Leslie Hoban Blake.
Right.
I'm preening myself.
So,
Patting myself back.
let's remind everybody about these wonderful people who've been playing the game today on Dave's Gone By. First of all, let's talk to Leslie since we didn't get you for the first 20 minutes of the program. You're well, everything's good.
Yeah, everything's it's yes.
Are you feeling
general,
like
yes.
you're going to do more stuff now that COVID looks like it's coming, or are you going to wait a while?
Blue mark on my wrist. I don't know if you can see it. It's the size of a goose egg, literally.
What
I
happened?
had a half a gallon of blood drawn. Well, the thing that I've been waiting for is my immunology test to
Yeah.
find out. Okay, done. What's today? Saturday. The test was done Thursday.
Mhm.
And I'll get the results on Wednesday, and then we'll have a better idea of. Then it will just be, do I want to go back to the theater? This is, there's a physical reason not to, but up to now, that's been what's been holding me back.
Sure.
And then Charlie put up a new show. Thank God. Well, Charlie's out of it, so he put up a new show of a combination of there's Clyde's, the Sex and the City review that we did with Eva, whatever her name, the Candace Bushnell review with Eva that we did, which is fun. It was a fun review. And then there's one more, but show.
Uh-oh.
We've had Sondheim up since Christmas.
Yeah.
What?
Leslie, you're kind of freezing mostly of what you're saying, but
Oh,
we want to say go to the YouTube channel Critics Circle to watch the latest episode of Critics Circle where they review Clyde.
but we have a new show coming up on M&M. And then I got to see Cyrano, everyone.
Movie.
I got to see Cyrano the movie.
And?
Somebody put me back on this. I'm not legitimately a movie critic anymore, but it was very nice. And so I got to see Cyrano, and I have to tell you that it's quite lovely. Did you guys see the play when it was in town?
I saw that.
Years ago.
No.
musical.
It's Peter Dinklage, and Peter Dinklage and his wife Erica Schmidt did this musical version, which was okay, but the movie has been pumped steroids. It was shot somewhere, and the light and everything are so immaculate. And of course, his doesn't have the strongest voice, but with a movie, you can tinker with the voice. So it all sounds really great. And they changed the casting a bit, but they just did it's a beautiful film to watch.
Oh,
It really
good
is.
to know. Okay.
And he's quite wonderful in it.
Excellent.
Now, of course, he turned around and talked against the dwarves. So
Yeah, that's right.
remake,
We're
the
getting
live
every
remake
word.
of
We're,
Snow
we're
White.
getting every other word.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Let
basically.
me
getting
let
what
me
you're
let me
saying.
take myself off. He's against. Wait, I'm taking myself off. Hang on. He's
Okay.
against. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he knows got.
Oh, it's still doing that.
Hello.
No,
It's still doing that.
All right, Leslie, we'll take your word for
Do
it.
you know about the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs
Oh,
thing that
it's-
he's doing?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that Peter Dinklage was objecting to them doing a live action Snow White and casting
Yes.
dwarves as the dwarves.
And several other members of the community have come out and said, "Give me the part." He doesn't want it because he's played several dwarves, but they were not necessarily dwarf roles.
Right.
Right.
Well, no,
And
you know what I
so-
say? I say, there are no small parts, but there really are small actors. So there you
All
go.
actors.
Let me get to David Sheward to let people know that David Sheward, he writes for culturaldaily.com and theaterlife.com.
Yes,
And you're reviewing, so I assume you reviewed the show that you went to, or are reviewing Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew. Yes,
Is that up there? Is it regular?
not yet. There. I've submitted it, and it should be up soon.
Great. What about the David Desker blog?
Well, I did. I've done some pieces on reconstructing the Carol Burnett show
Mhm.
On various episodes because, as you know, it's the entire series is sort of broken up because and when they show it in syndication, it's like a chopped up half hour.
Right.
And there are certain DVDs that have the whole episode, so you don't. So piecing it together is kind of fun. And I also did a piece on a political piece on is gay marriage in trouble because of the right leaning of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because abortion is definitely in trouble.
Right.
And a lot of my friends are worried that, gay marriage is next. And I sort of argue that I don't think it's as much in trouble as abortion is. I think Roe v. Wade is definitely in trouble, but I don't think gay marriage is because I think it's more that issue. There's not as much, how shall I put it? It's not as America, mainstream America is more accepting of gay marriage and than they are of abortion.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And that you could make the argument about, there are arguments that you can make about abortion because nobody knows when life really begins,
Oh, it's called this gay marriage.
et cetera, et cetera. But if you take away gay marriage, that's going to be seen as unnecessarily cruel. And here we are, we've had gay marriage for almost 10 years now. And, straight marriage is not, falling apart. Society's not crumbling.
well, society is crumbling, but whether
But not because a guy is handed the lunch in that Dupixent commercial. It's not falling apart because the gay man is giving his daughter her lunch on the bus.
Yeah.
David, but you haven't heard from Robert Kennedy Jr. yet, who is about to he will blame the entire pandemic on it. Watch and see.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on in his head, but I don't think even he would do that.
I don't think there is nothing going on up there. That's the problem.
What's the name of what there?
That Charlie and Leslie are doing.
Critic
in the
Circle.
chat.
Critic Circle. And let's not forget Vicki Quade,
Big one.
the
Excellent.
Greenhouse in Chicago. Doing,
Greenhouse Theater Center, right?
Yes, Greenhouse Theater Center in Chicago.
Late night catechism and Bible bingo.
In repertoire, yeah.
In repertory, right. And David, I wanted to say that, did you see that it was Vicki Lawrence who was with Betty White at her death?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't see that
Yeah.
either.
Vicki Lawrence was staying and apparently living there, or at least staying there. They were great friends.
Oh, did they reenact the Mama and Ellen scene?
I don't know that, but Vicki
Of the
Lawrence
family?
said that Betty White's final words were Alan Ludden.
Yes, I heard that. I heard that was her husband.
Wow.
From,
No,
Yeah.
actually,
she-
it didn't go like that. She went Alan, And then,
Yeah,
Vicki Lawrence
and then she said the
Olga.
password is,
That's right.
And something and like
Exactly.
And then
And- or
literally
did-
she passed.
Is there no such,
is there no such what? Is there no such
is
what?
there no such thing as too soon anymore?
There's no, of course, not with
got a month.
me, Leslie.
Well,
I
I
made
thought,
a nice comment, Leslie.
I
I
know
thought
you
that-
did.
I
I
thought she
know
was going to say,
you did. I
Vicki was
wasn't
saying
blaming
something
you,
like,
Vicki.
Thank you.
Fat Frida is so fat, she couldn't even get into blank.
That's a whole different show. That's,
Yeah. But Betty White was on Match Game quite a bit too.
Was she? Okay, yeah.
Yes, she was a regular on Match Game, or
Speaking
semi.
of Match Game, do you think Alec Baldwin is ever coming back to that show?
I don't know.
I don't, is that Alec Baldwin ever coming back to any show?
Yeah, he doesn't
I don't
have to. I mean, he can never work another
He's
game.
suing now. He's suing the movie company now.
Well,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
I
it a
would.
company or
How allowed to hold on to a phone?
Yeah.
Before they, he would not release his phone for 6 months.
Oh.
How long are you
Yeah.
allowed to not do that?
I don't know. The rich and
There's a
famous
little
have
note up
other
above me
rules.
that says I'm talking.
It's
I'm gonna let you guys go because I'm
Yeah,
already
well, we're all
off
going.
anyway.
So,
Um,
All right. Bye-bye.
I'm
Congratulations.
kissing, but nobody
congratulations on
can
your
see.
victory. Come back and play next week. David Sheward, congratulations on feeling better and going back to the theater.
Yeah,
and stuff.
totally.
Yeah,
Yay.
I
Oh,
just
you went back to
I mean,
work? Oh, David, you went back to work?
No, not.
Yeah.
I went to one
David
show.
Sheward.
And I will be soon.
And we'll be back at work soon. And Vicki Quade,
Okay.
congratulations on doing theater as the pandemic eases. And congratulations on having such a wonderful trip to Egypt.
I know. It was so great.
What's
Thank
the
you.
Egyptian, what's the Arabic word for goodbye?
Yes.
So we can all do like a.
I don't know.
You
Bye.
went to Egypt, you can know a word of Egyptian. I mean, what's hello?
Chakram is thank you.
Oh, chakram. I love it. Chakram.
Is thank you.
Chakram, everybody. Chakram. I'm going to let you all go. Have a great, great
Shukran alaikum.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Leslie.
Bye. Bye.
Chakram alaikum. Yeah, alaikum chakram. Bye-bye. David Sheward, have a great week, a good week, and we will see, at least two of those three people again next Saturday on the Today Yesterday quiz on this program, which is called Dave's Gone By, featuring this guy, Dave Lefkowitz. It's our 835th episode of the show. We're calling it Snow Day, because if you're anywhere in America right now,
You can't see out of any of the windows. You gotta look, but
it's like
it
frozen.
looks better in the front than the back.
Does it really? Wow. Oh, there's my wife. Nice boobs, right? Why don't you just stand here and we'll do the rest of the show it might be a while, but this is my wife's hands. Mwah. Let me have the other one. I can kiss the other one. This is my sweetie. Hey, honey.
Hey, David.
We're live on the air. We're literally live on the air. Yes. Oh, look, she's giving me a hand job. No, I don't know. Hey, sweetie. Well, we still have. I guess we won't go back to, or maybe I'll table the rabbis thing until next week.
It's already. Is it 7 o'clock?
It's
at night?
like 10 to noon
Oh
already.
my lord! You had no guests today. How did you do that?
I don't know. Well,
If you had no guests.
we had wonderful. We had David Sheward. We had Leslie Hoban Blake,
You
and
didn't have. Normally you have.
man, how did we eat up all that time?
I don't understand. I've been posting pictures.
Well, we have a Colorado Limerick of the Damned still to do on the program. We also,
I posted David's column,
yeah.
Leslie and Charlie's thing, and Vicky's work in the chat.
So let's see. I've got to go out there and shovel in a little bit. So why don't we do?
Rodolfo also gave you.
Rodolfo, hey, how you doing, man? So
Yeah.
let me. Yeah, let's just do some.
I'm glad I ordered Mom's Instacart food yesterday.
Did it come yesterday? And go,
Yes.
great, good,
Yeah.
good. How about since I was talking about it before, and Leslie had to say the words, "Is there such a thing as too soon?" And if you heard me talking about Gilbert Gottfried last week, for comedians and for me, and I think I was talking about it earlier in the show today, too soon just doesn't exist. Soon, the minute after, if something flies into your sick mind, you have to go with it. So we have a segment on Dave's Gone By called My Sick Mind, dedicated to my sick mind. And it has to do this week with Charlie Brown, the cartoon character in A Manner of Speaking. If you heard me talking a while back on the show, Oh, yeah. Wow, those titles are good, man.
I
So,
made it extra large, but also it's you all speak clearly.
well, that's good. I'm glad I speak clearly. That's why I'm doing a podcast here.
But look how it really does speech recognition very well.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, the technology that we have now in terms of just being able to talk into a machine, it not only records it, which was 150 years ago, it not only
Broadcast.
understand, but it mostly correctly just puts it right out there immediately.
It really does. Yeah.
Astonishing. Anyway, we were all not particularly astonished this week when a fellow named Peter Robbins died by his own hand. Peter Robbins, best known as the guy who voiced in the original batch of Charlie Brown cartoons that were on TV when we were growing up, the ones that have become classics, the Charlie Brown Christmases, Valentine's Day Charlie Brown, all of those, for several years. He was that scratchy voice of the Little Peanuts character, Charlie Brown.
How old was he when he did it? 8, you said?
9 years old when he was first plucked, and then he, in 1963, so unfortunately, Peter Robbins had the kind of childhood, considering if Charlie Brown had ever grown up and had lost any kind of support system from family or friends who made fun of him but were ultimately well-meaning, if he didn't have any of that, if he just was like a little off his meds, he would have had the life that Peter Robbins has had. Mentally ill, drug addiction, alcohol addiction. He actually spent time in prison for threatening his girlfriend and the surgeon who gave her her breast implants. So, I don't know. He's just had a life, and I guess he was pretty tired of his life. He'd go up and down because he would show up at conventions, comic book conventions and stuff, and sign and have a bit of a career that way when he was healthy. And then he would be not healthy and everything would go to pieces. So, farewell, sad news about this Peter Robbins guy who was the voice of Charlie Brown. Well, even sadder than that news is the condition of my brain that starts to think of jokes about Peter Robbins and Charlie Brown in a segment that we call My Sick Mind.
My sick, my sick, my sick, my sick, my sick mind. Well, talk about bad taste. My sick, my sick, my sick, my sick, my sick mind. You sick little monkey.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, let's keep the music going under a little bit as we do 10 jokes. And again, I apologize beforehand for these 10 jokes about Peter Robbins, a.k.a. the voice of Charlie Brown. What did Peter Robbins say when he killed himself? Good grief. Thank you. Why was he so depressed? Well, he spent much of his life working for peanuts. There we go, yeah. Hey, what's the first thing Archangel Gabriel did when Peter Robbins came near him? He pulled the harp away. Yeah, there's 10 of these in total. When mourners filed by his coffin, what does Peter Robbins hear them say? Oh, you do those. Okay, there we go. What state is Peter Robbins in? Suspended animation. At least wait for the punchline. This is my favorite. What is eating Charlie Brown? Rats. Thank you. What couldn't Peter Robbins get? Why couldn't Peter Robbins get help for his mental issues? Well, he wouldn't pay Lucy 5 cents. He wouldn't pay. There we go. Okay. What do you call it when Peter Robbins gets rigor mortis? Peanut brittle. That was good. Peanut brittle. We're almost done. What will Charlie Brown never find? Happiness. And finally, because that's the musical, what are the worms and maggots in Peter Robbins? You're just keeping that going. What are the worms and maggots in Peter Robbins's grave singing? Supper time! Ah, yeah. That's my sick mind. Ladies and gentlemen, it is just after noon Eastern Time here on the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream live. You can hear the bombs going off outside. That's an avalanche outside of all the snow we're getting. It's January 29th, 2022. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. It's the 835th one of these. We're calling it Snow Day. We're almost done with the show. We have just a little bit more to do. I want to remind you, though, that if you want to know more about this program, please go to our website, davesgoneby.com, DAVESGONEBY, davesgoneby.com. It's not just telling you, this is what's going to be on the next program or a little bit about the show. It's the archives of virtually every program we have ever done, whether they are the virtual ones that we've been doing for the past couple of years or just the old radio shows when we first started for a bunch of years, so the college radio shows that we did. All these 830 plus episodes of Dave's Gone By, we've saved them forever. And they're at davesgoneby.com for free. You can download them or just stream them on your computer. We also put our archives at archive.org. It's a nonprofit website that gathers material, entertainment, arts, books from the past thousands of years into one giant repository, archive.org, and we have our channel there. We also have a channel on castbox.fm, castbox.fm. This is a podcasting service so that if you don't care about the visual, if you don't need to watch the show, but you want to hear it, castbox.fm is specifically designed for podcasts. So we load up our stuff there as well. And we put our material on our YouTube page, Dave's Gone By. We get a lot of people watching there. And we, on Tuesday nights, 9:30 in the evening, Eastern Time, if you happen to live in Nassau County and you get the cable cast of Altice Cablevision, Channel 20, 1 hour random excerpt of Dave's Gone By right there on your TV. 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 on Tuesday nights on Altice Cable. An hour of Dave's Gone By. But again, the best way to watch the show is going to davesgoneby.com or YouTube even, or even, this Facebook page automatically keeps, and it's a wonderful thing, the shows that we do. You just have to keep scrolling and scrolling to find them. So we've been doing these shows on Facebook for 4 or 5 years now, and they're still there. So just keep scrolling down if you want to see them on here. However you do it, we love to have your company. We love that you watch the show, that you recommend the program to other people, to get more folks to know about us and like us on Facebook. It really, really means a lot. And we love hearing from you. davesgoneby at AOL.com. davesgoneby at AOL.com. And check our Twitter feed also, Radio Dave 2. Radio Dave, the number 2. Well, we have still to go, and I apologize in advance for this also, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. But before then, let's talk about some friends of the Daverhood, like Vicki, like Leslie, like David. We've had wonderful guests on this program all the decades that we've been on, well, it's only 2 decades, that we've been doing the show, and we consider them friends, we consider them family. We like to let you know what the friends of the Daverhood are up to. So, for example, we want to give a hand to Ruben Santiago Hudson, because he's got he's directing the play Skeleton Crew on Broadway. It got really good reviews. And he was just profiled yesterday or 2 days ago in Forbes magazine in a really nice article by Lee Seymour. So yeah, big shout out, very busy man and doing really well. Ruben Santiago Hudson, our friend of the Daverhood. Congratulations to Ari Gold. He and his brother Ethan have an article about corresponding via poetry with their father in San Francisco. It was published this week in Tablet magazine, and you can go there and read it. And basically they converse in poetry. It's pretty neat. Ari Gold and his brother Ethan. Ari, a filmmaker, he did The Adventures of Power, gosh, about 15 years ago or so at this point. Letting you know that tonight and next Saturday and the Saturday after that and the Saturday night after that at 7 p.m. at Birdland, Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano sing in the songbook. Birdland is at 315 West 44th Street, which I guess puts it between 8th Avenue and 9th in Midtown Manhattan. Letting you know that on Sundays, Moishe Denberg, our wonderful friend, is streaming concert music on Zoom. Find out more at tzimmes.net, T-Z-I-M-M-E-S, Tzimmes, which is the Yiddish or Jewish word for stew, tzimmes.net. Also, tomorrow, Mike Agranoff is part of the Filk Festival's What's So Funny slate. You can find out more at conflict.org. So, I don't know, they make it intentionally confusing. The music, the format is Filk, which is an offshoot of folk music, and the website is not Filk, it's Conflict, FLIKT.org. Either, just look for Mike Agranoff, January 30th, tomorrow, part of the festival. And I believe that's a virtual thing. On Monday night at 7 p.m. at Birdland, Jeff Harner is this is a great title, A Collective Sigh. A collective CY for Cy Coleman. He's singing Cy Coleman songs. This is Monday night at Birdland with Jeff Harner. You've got Robert Cuccioli on Monday reading the Jacobean tragedy, The Wonder of Women, for the wonderful Red Bull Theater Company. If you know my work, you know that they did one of my plays.
Your
So
play's right up there behind it.
yeah, oh yeah. So they're online.
Not Red Bull, that's
Well, that was the program PGA. That was Playground Experiment. They did it. Another one of my plays last year. But Red Bull, they did Restoration Playhouse, which, by the way, you can still see on my website. There's a link from davesgoneby.com. Anyway, Robert Cuccioli will be reading with Red Bull online Monday night. Also Monday night, Jim Caruso releases a new album called The Sunday Set on Club 44 Records. On February 1st, I believe that is this Tuesday, excuse me, our musical pal Gary Lucas is performing with Fei Fei Yang at Joe's Pub on Lafayette Street in Manhattan. And then from the 3rd through the 5th this week, Linda Eder is singing at Feinstein's 54 Below, playing now just through, oh my God, we've been saying this week after week, and then the time comes up. You have only until January 31st to watch Estella Scrooge via Broadway On Demand, featuring Danny Burston. And then now through the middle of February, Austin Pendleton alert! Austin Pendleton will be appearing as Doc in a revival of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof being done off of Broadway at St. Clement's Theater by a group called Ruth Stage that is in Midtown on West 46th Street, playing now through mid-February. Edward Einhorn's play Alma Baya was recorded when they did it live, and it's taped and available on demand from the Untitled Theater Company number 61, playing now through mid-February. Go to untitledtheater.com. Lilius White is in a play called Black No More, being done by the new group off-Broadway, now through the end of February. The Signature Theater is the place you can go see it, also on the west side of Midtown. Playing now through early March on Mondays and Tuesday nights, Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks are at Bond 45. Now, this is okay. So the place is called Bond 45.
Are they albino ravens?
No, it's not the
It's
albino.
this new band called so and so and the albino raven.
Now, I could understand if it was on Bond Street in Manhattan, right? Or number 45. No. Bond 45 is at 221 West 46th Street.
Maybe it was originally there and it moved.
Or maybe the entrance used to be on 40. But why? You want people to go to this
No,
place.
maybe the name means something like.
I'm sure it
Bond,
does.
Bonding. Oh,
But it's kind of like when, oh, hey, Potato. What, bring him on? He wants to see new Potato? What?
he's the broken one. Look at his hat.
Oh, was he the one you fixed? Or he's looking good. He's looking really cute. Oh, no, he's not the burned one. The burn victim is
Are you
wearing
playing music?
Yeah, this is,
Okay.
I play classical under,
Oh,
on Friends of the
they
Daverhood.
look very good on TV.
They look gorgeous. Potatoes look amazing. Finishing up our Friends of the Daverhood, got a couple more. Want to let you know that Ray Bachor is playing Amos in Chicago on Broadway. Aladdin, which is co-written by Alan Menken, plays at the New Amsterdam Theater. Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Go to birdlandjazz.com for tickets for all the people who are playing at Birdland that we mentioned, so many of our friends. StageBuddy.com is a terrific website about New York nightlife put together by our friend Evan Seplow. Dr. Demento still doing Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. Bob Cudmore podcasting about New York State, upstate New York history.
When
At,
he was little, was he called Bob Cud less?
it was Bob Cud Little, then it a little more, and then now he's just Bob
I had a
Cudmore.
friend whose last name was Young Jin, and
Yeah.
then a kid asked her, when you're old, will your name be Old Jin? Because it was like young. They
Yeah.
thought that it was a.
That's I mean, she shocked him.
Very
So
cute.
no, he's cute. It's not
Really,
mean.
I know.
Soundsofbroadway.com for 24 hours straight of
I need a
Broadway music.
chocolate, David.
Stuart Brown is the purveyor of that website, soundsofbroadway.com. And those, my friends, are the friends. Oh, and you know what? I'll mention some of our writers. Now that there is some theater being done, you can read reviews by Anne Siegel.
Oh, she's back reviewing. Well,
Yeah.
she didn't stop. I don't think.
No, well, everything stopped.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
she did stop. I think she was reviewing. Wasn't she
Here and there when there was stuff to review.
in Milwaukee?
In Milwaukee, Mary Shen Barnage writing from Chicago, and Will Manis writing from LA, all of them readable in totaltheater.com. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. So Joyce just grabbed a dub. Oh, let me. No, I'm good. But don't they have little sayings like fortune cookies? Joyce just grabbed a Dove chocolate. Let's see what it says.
It says, after every storm, there's a rainbow, no matter how long it takes to show up.
That's nice.
I don't care what it says.
And that's not really not true, actually. Well, I mean, I guess you have a storm and then 3 more storms, and then eventually one of those storms will have a rainbow. But otherwise, it's kind
These
of
are not like scientifically proven.
No,
This is
they-
just
no.
like things people say.
no. But Joe Rogan has been proposing that rainbow theory. He has on Spotify. He's saying, yeah, I'm the rainbow thing, absolutely. Yeah. And they're not always red, orange, yellow,
David,
green, blue. Yeah,
As long as potatoes don't get COVID, we're good.
you know. How you feeling, Potato? Oh, I'm just dandy.
Oh, look who's making an appearance.
Oh, this is a special morning, a special afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, not only do we have regular
He's like
potatoes.
the cult leader with those sneakers, David. You know the cult leaders were.
Yes, the white sneaker guys, the Marshall Herb apple white. But no, he's not an apple, he's a potato. He is our beloved Grand Kanish, who made an appearance with of course, little, what do we call him? He's Papito.
He's a baby.
And baby Papito, who will perhaps one day assume the throne of the Grand Kanish if he ever retires.
He's like the Buddha. He's the next Buddha.
Let's see if he has Booga Belly. Boop. Dude, I'll kill you. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Man, he's violent.
He doesn't care about boogie. He cares about butter. Oh, me love the butter. All right. Okay. My goodness. All the gangs here. Look, all these potatoes. And look what we got in the mail also this week. Oh, boy. Someone at some point bought this for 99 cents. I paid a lot more for it.
How much did they sell it for?
Don't ask.
A lot of money.
So I used to have one of these. I don't know where it is, and his hat broke. It's a ceramic item that is based on these potato characters, or you can see actually they do all the vegetable characters, including let's show them all. There's Oh, I can make it even bigger to read for my eyes. Something cauliflower.
No, David, each month. So
Yeah.
like January is cauliflower, February is broccoli, March is onion. So you're cauliflower.
I'm
potato.
Wow!
Mm-hmm.
June is potato, and there he is. Isn't he the most beautiful one?
It really is.
He's got that ugly green thing with the umbrella. I don't like that one. The onion is cute. I gotta give it to the onion.
The umbrella. What is that one?
And let's see, the cabbage
Oh,
is
it's a
all right.
green pepper, probably.
So anyway, here let's see the actual item packed up. Thank you, eBay. And behold, look at him. Large is like, you know how Michelangelo's David is based on, like, you know, a real life sort of, not an actual human, but is based in human form. This is based on the form of our friend's potato. Oh, I like your hat. Hey, lucky you. I don't get anything, and you get a hoe.
No, David, he's breakable. Be careful.
I know.
Don't let him fight.
All right, I'm gonna
He's
put him away.
breakable. He's breakable.
All right. Where did he get that implement? Oh, I think he got it from the hoe house. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna put you.
I can get them all spayed.
No, wait, not a hoe.
Get it,
He's
get it.
a spade.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Oh, I guess you're feeling rakish.
There's one image of the potato squad. It's like I always put it in your thing.
You dig?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're coming to, thank God, the end of this episode of Dave's Gone By, but not before. I mean, let's face it. Look what we've done in this episode of the show. We've talked and had a wild and woolly time with our Today Yesterday quiz with our wonderful panelists. We went to Greeley, Colorado.
I wonder how
Tom Papa, yeah. What about him?
I wonder how the shows went.
I'm sure they went great. He's a terrific comedian. I should have mentioned, that's right. He was going to be performing. He's touring. So if you want to see Tom Papa, and I think he's moved on from New York now, go check his itinerary. What? Yeah. Yes. So.
Where's Stan? Call out for Stan.
Well, didn't Stan write in early in the beginning of the show?
No.
Hey, Stan.
Not this week.
Miss you this
No,
week.
gallivanting.
Well, stop your gallivanting, and I can't think of a joke for that either. Nope. I guess if men do it, it's Guyavant. Wow. The sooner I get to our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, obviously the better. So yes, our last thing to do on this episode is our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. I go every week to a different part of Colorado, a different city or town or municipality or burg, and I've written a poem. I haven't actually physically gone to them, but I've written a poem about all these different names of places in the wonderful state of Colorado. This particular one is, I can't believe I never got to it yet, Fort Collins. Fort Collins, big city, very popular town in Colorado, about, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour drive from Greeley, about an hour and a half from Denver. Fort Collins, northern Colorado. I'm going to tell you all about it, and then I'm going to do a 5-line horrendous poem all about Fort Collins, Colorado, on what we call our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man. A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain,
Colorado, Colorado, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We go to Colorado specifically to Greeley. To Fort Collins.
No.
Sorry, it's to Fort Collins, Colorado, for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Let me tell you a little bit about Fort Collins. There's actually, sometimes we get these small towns, these ghost towns in Colorado, and even finding anything, it's tough to get more than, like, it was founded, there was a post office, nobody lives there, the end. But Fort Collins, there's a lot to talk about. For example, it's a cosmopolitan city with 170,000 people in it, about an hour, as I said, north of Denver. Arapaho tribes were there until it became a military outpost in the 1860s. They had an old fort in the area that is now considered Old Town of Fort Collins. And by 1900, Fort Collins was, quote, the lamb feeding capital of the world. Who knew? Despite the Depression, Fort Collins grew and thrived from the 1900s through mid-century. This is interesting. It was a conservative city. It's probably not considered that now because of CSU, but it was a conservative city. And during Vietnam, CSU students were pretty pro-military and conservative. Some weren't. But when an old wooden main building burned down, people didn't know if it was arson or just a Colorado fire. So there were strange times there. Since it's in Colorado, there's tons of sunshine in Fort Collins, 4 distinct seasons, and a couple of feet of snow. Businesses in FOCO include Anheuser-Busch, Otterbox. They have their own version of Lincoln Center where they do show. Why is the kid complaining? Lincoln Center, and they have the Bob Blue Theater Company there.
We went there.
Yeah, we did. Celebrities who are there include Temple Grandin, who teaches as part of the Colorado State University faculty. Hattie McDaniel's family moved from Kansas to Fort Collins before going to Denver, and John Hader of Napoleon Dynamite was born there in Fort Collins. So, with all that in mind, let us take a little trip for 5 lines of a poem, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, for Fort Collins, Colorado. A woman I know from Fort Collins bought tickets to see Sonny Rollins. But while in the stands, she got swollen glands from the smoke and the weed and the pollens. Thank you. Thank you. That wasn't offensive at all. Go figure.
Because we like Fort Collins.
Yeah, maybe that's why. However, if you do want to complain, remember you can go to davesgoneby@aol.com, davesgoneby@aol.com. Also check our Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. Also, of course, check our Facebook page. Please become friends on Facebook and tell folks about the show. The Facebook page is Dave's Gone By. Want to also remind you to check my other website, davelefkowitz.org. davelefkowitz.org. There's actually a link to it on the Dave's Gone By page. But if you want to read my work, if you're tired of listening to my voice for 3.5 hours on Saturday mornings, but you still think, this is an interesting, unusual mind I want to commune with, go to davelefkowitz.org and you can read my plays, full length and 1 act. You can read my hundreds and hundreds of theater reviews, most of them written in like the late 80s, 1990s, and 2000s. So if you're curious about the theater during that time in New York, I covered a ton and wrote about it. So that's there. Also my song lyrics, also a lot of the interviews I've been doing with people for various publications. Check it out, davelefkowitz.org. There's no paywall. It's all free. I just want to get my work, like every artist, I want to get my work out there however I can. So yeah, there's some fun reading there. davelefkowitz.org. Please do give it a look. So it's about 25 after 12 Eastern time in the snowy Daverhood. That is today, January 29th, 2022. Just about ready to wrap this one up and go out and grab a snow shovel. Oh, fun.
No,
But
I don't think you should go and get a shovel while it's still snowing.
well, just to get a beat on it, because otherwise it may be too big for me to tackle later. I don't know. It's rough out there. We'll see. Or I might be lazy and just take a nap. Maybe I'll be lazy and take a nap.
Big lunch for both of us, meaning me.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I never told this joke last week or maybe 2 weeks ago when I was talking about watching Gilbert Gottfried. Do I want to tell it now? Do I remember it well enough? I wrote my own joke.
If you wrote it, you don't remember it, don't tell it.
Well, I have hints on it. Yeah, I'll tell it next week. I'll save that.
You just get to make a cliffhanger.
Maybe next week we'll talk about Judge Breyer retiring.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Unless you want to talk about it now, or are you hungry?
Did you do the rabbi you'll do next time?
Rabbi, I'll do. I'm going to hold the rabbi in abeyance. We'll do him next week. I apologize. Rabbi Saul will read the papers, and then, well, we'll have others. Oh, let me tell you what's going to be on upcoming shows. Now, I hate promising things like this because a lot of times promises,
You
you,
can't control reality.
as soon as you say it, right, you get the call. Oh, it's canceled. Oh, it's moved. Oh, it's whatever.
Well, just
But
say unless something goes wrong,
Yeah.
it's going to go that way.
so, barring problems, let me let you know that this is going to be an amazing month on Dave's Gone By coming up February. We're going to have in the Daverhood a return guest. The one, truly the one, the only, and if you speak about folk singing as we did before, one of the majors, within the last decade, it was only a few years ago, we had Judy Collins on the program. Judy Collins is coming back. And it's either going to be next week or the week after. Honest to goodness, Judy Collins. Yeah, sending the clowns wildflowers, the blizzard. Literally, the woman who wrote the blizzard. And here we are in a blizzard. Judy Collins is going to be on the show again. Wow. So, yay. Besides Judy Collins, also coming up this month. Again, not sure whether it's this week or 3 weeks from now. But we will be talking to the actress Sharon Gless. She's got an autobiography out. I interviewed her a few weeks ago for Long Island Woman magazine. That story is out and readily available. You can find it. But here's the deal, and I think actually I published, if you can't find it anywhere else, go to davelefkowitz.org, and I posted the story there. But Sharon Gless was so much fun, really. She was so much fun to talk to. So open and so delightful and so Sharon Gless, that we got in touch and we're getting her on this program so that you can hear her and see her as well as read her in my article. So Sharon Gless from Cagney and Lacey and from, what show? She was on one of the prison women shows. And she's always doing stuff. Now, Sharon Gless going to be in the Daverhood in just a week or 2 or 3. And then, very fun show coming up on February 12th of Dave's Gone By. This is kind of neat. There's a fringe festival called, I think it's the Frigid Festival? Yeah, the Frigid Festival in New York, rather appropriately worded for the day, which is a lot of solo shows and small shows of an independent, kind of kooky stripe. And well, we're going to have a few. We're going to have like almost half a dozen of the people involved in this Frigid Festival. The actors, playwrights, a director or two, I think, creators. They're all going to be in like a Zoom party room with Rabbi Saul, and that'll be on February 12th. So it's not going to be one guest.
So for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right. That'll be our special Valentine's Day treat. Talking to a bunch of people at once. From the New York Frigid Festival, and that's definitely, we're set live on that for February 12th. So as you can see, there's a lot of reasons to tune in and to check out Dave's Gone By week after week after week, especially in February. And then we move into March, and then March 5th, we'll be talking to the comedian Candice Guardino. So we just keep it here. Check the Facebook page, Dave's Gone By, for what's coming up. Check davesgoneby.com for all our archives. Shout out to our friends at Hewlett Minuteman Press, a local copying and printing and silk screening and invitation printing place. That's all I'm going to say about them in Hewlett, Long Island. Shout out to the Torong family. That's all. Not going to break any FCC rules here. And what else? I'm going to shout out one more time to David Sheward, whom you can read at theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com, and his blog, The David Desk, plus a shout out to Leslie Hoban Blake, whom you can watch with our friend Charlie Gross doing Critics Circle on YouTube, and of course, Vicki Quade, whom you can see in person at the Greenhouse Theater Center in Chicago, Illinois, doing Bible Bingo and doing Late Night Catechism. Find out more. Get your tickets at nunsforfun.com. Well, I've had tremendous fun doing this 835th episode of Dave's Gone By. Tune in next Saturday, February, well, it'll be February 5th, I believe, for the 836th episode of this program. Until then, I love you, my darling and adorable wife. Thank you for all your help on this particular episode. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I like that rubbing part. Can you do more of that when we're off the air? Like, when you were rubbing the thing and touching and rubbing and touching and touching, rubbing.
Put some money into my Zelle account. I'll get charged for the hour.
Well, that's how I met you. Oh, and thank you one more time to all of you watching. Check out davesgoneby.com. Check out davelefkowitz.org. And just try and be with us every week because we have so much fun here in the Daverhood and Gone By.
Days gone by, they're gone by. Days gone by, they're gone by. Days gone by, they're gone by.